Chapter 777. The lake in front of him was like an ocean. It was a large swamp. To the east of the lake, there were two mountain peaks side by side. A large river flowed between the mountain peaks towards the east. The two mountain peaks stretched for thousands of miles. It was very majestic. The scene in front of him was almost exactly the same as described by the words. It should be here. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a glint. He flew towards the area between the two mountain peaks. Between the two mountain peaks, in addition to the large river flowing towards the east, there was a very deep valley. Spiritual qi was dense and the essence of heaven and earth gathered. It made the vegetation here very exuberant. There were exotic flowers and plants everywhere. But standing in front of the valley, Ling Xiao felt a very dangerous fluctuation coming from the valley. This is the aura of a demon venerable. Ling Xiao's eyes trembled. He retracted his aura even more and slowly walked into the valley. The demonic beasts and fierce beasts in the time cave might be due to the incomplete laws of heaven and earth. Even if they were half-step demon venerables or demon venerables, they did not have much spiritual intelligence. They only had ignorant instincts. Ling Xiao was very different. These fierce beasts did not have spiritual intelligence and did not condense primordial spirits. But they had such terrifying combat strength just by relying on their physical bodies and bloodlines. They were comparable to half-step demon venerables or even demon venerables. So Ling Xiao was very cautious and walked into the valley carefully. In the valley, ancient trees towered into the sky and old vines entwined around them. A huge fierce beast was lying there, snoring loudly from its mouth and nose. It was a green python that was hundreds of feet long. There was a golden crown on its head. The scales all over its body exuded a terrifying and powerful fluctuation. Its flat tongue was raised high, looking very ferocious. Its eyes were closed, and there seemed to be green lightning around its body. It was as if it had been contaminated by the green python's aura for a long time. The surrounding vegetation emitted a trace of lightning. It's the ancient fierce beast, the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. Ling Xiao was shocked. This green python was almost exactly the same as the legendary green-scaled heaven-devouring python. Its monstrous aura made Ling Xiao's heart tremble. The green-scaled heaven-devouring python was an ancient fierce beast. It was rumored that it was a super existence that could fight with a real dragon. When it grew up, it could swallow millions of miles of mountains and rivers and even the heavens and earth. It was extremely terrifying. The realm of the demon venerable was definitely the realm of the demon venerable. With Ling Xiao's current cultivation, he might not be able to deal with this azure-scaled heaven-devouring python. It's actually guarded by a green-scaled heaven-devouring python. No wonder no one has been able to obtain the longevity grass after so many years. Ling Xiao's eyes flickered. Even the Tomb King city wouldn't be able to do anything to the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python. Ling Xiao wasn't afraid of the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. Even if it was a battle with He Qi, if he couldn't win, he would be able to retreat. The most important thing was that the battle with the green-scaled heaven-devouring python would cause a huge commotion. If it attracted the people from Star Palace and they took advantage of the situation, it would be a great loss. Ling Xiao carefully observed the valley again. This valley was very wide and quiet. Ling Xiao could feel a strong qi of the dragon veins. This should be the place where the dragon veins gathered. It was a natural treasure land. Otherwise, the green-scaled heaven-swallowing python would not guard this place. Ling Xiao was almost certain that the longevity grass was in the valley, but how to get it was a problem. Let's go in and check it out first. Ling Xiao's eyes shone and he entered the God's Stone in an instant. The God's Stone became a stone the size of a grain of rice and floated into the valley silently. The God's Stone was very magical. As the small world in the God's Stone was gradually perfected, Ling Xiao could control the God's Stone more easily. Even a Zhizun wouldn't be able to notice the God's Stone if he didn't pay attention, let alone a green-scaled heaven-devouring python that didn't have any intelligence. The god's stone floated into the valley slowly and started to check the surroundings. Ling Xiao deliberately avoided the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. The surrounding valley was very quiet. Ancient trees towered into the sky and there were strange flowers and herbs everywhere. Moreover, there was a strong qi of the dragon vein spreading. However, after looking around, Ling Xiao still couldn't find the whereabouts of the longevity grass. This is strange. Could it be that the longevity grass has been eaten by the green-scaled heaven-devouring python? Ling Xiao felt a little puzzled. He controlled the god's stone and floated towards the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. The green-scaled heaven-devouring python's roar shook the sky. Its body was surrounded by green lightning. It looked very powerful. Every breath it took seemed to set off a hurricane. It rumbled like thunder and shook the entire valley. Ling Xiao circled around, but he still couldn't find the whereabouts of the longevity grass. Little Green, a bad guy is coming. It's that stone. Bite him to pieces. Suddenly, a voice sounded in the valley. It sounded a little old and experienced. Who's talking? Ling Xiao was also shocked. He couldn't see anyone at all. In the end, he found that the voice came from the green-scaled heaven-devouring python's abdomen. Boom! The green-scaled heaven-devouring python's eyes instantly opened. They were bloodthirsty and cold. A terrifying aura intertwined and instantly locked onto the god's stone. Whoosh! A stream of light shot out of the green-scaled heaven-devouring python's mouth and instantly turned into a green grass. It had 9 leaves and its entire body was sparkling and translucent. There were mysterious patterns on the leaves and a faint layer of mist pervaded the air. It was extremely mysterious, as if it was describing some kind of truth of the Great Tao. The most important thing was that there was a human face on the grass. It looked like an old man with a face full of wrinkles. His eyeballs were rolling around. It was very wretched. His leaf pointed at the god's stone and said in an old and experienced tone, "Bastard, you're here to catch your grandfather, right? Fortunately, your grandfather is smart. Little Green, bite him to pieces. I was wondering where the longevity grass went. It's actually in the green-scaled heaven-devouring python's stomach." Ling Xiao was a little speechless. At the same time, he felt that something was wrong. This longevity grass looked very strange. It actually had intelligence that was not inferior to a human's. Moreover, it instantly found the trace of the god's stone. Roar! The green-scaled heaven-devouring python's mouth let out a thunderous roar. The entire valley instantly set off a hurricane. It opened its mouth and an incomparably violent devouring power enveloped the god's stone. Whoosh! Fortunately, Ling Xiao's reaction was faster. As soon as the longevity grass finished speaking, the god's stone turned into a stream of light and instantly rushed out of the valley. Little Green, quickly chase after it. That stone is strange. You must catch the guy inside it. The longevity grass sat on the green-scaled heaven-devouring python's golden crown and pointed at the god's stone. Suddenly, the green-scaled heaven-devouring python rushed out at an extremely fast speed. Rumble! The green lightning was dazzling. The surrounding towering ancient trees were all turned into dust. The earth rumbled. The green-scaled heaven-devouring python seemed to have locked onto the god's stone. No matter where Ling Xiao flew, the green-scaled heaven-devouring python would follow. Damn it! How can that longevity grass have such a strong spiritual sense? Ling Xiao felt that it was somewhat inconceivable. Even a supreme being would find it difficult to sense the whereabouts of the god's stone. In the end, the longevity grass found it. Chapter 778. Rumble. Ling Xiao rode on the god's stone and traveled through the mountains. His speed was extremely fast and he was like an undetectable streamer. With such speed, an ordinary beast would have been left behind. However, the green-scaled heaven-devouring python was biting on the back of the god's stone. It was extremely violent and its roar was earth-shattering. Everything in front of it, regardless of whether it was a mountain or a towering ancient tree, was smashed into powder. Bastard, run! I want to see where you can run to. You actually want to catch your grandfather. Today, your grandfather must see who you are. You must have eaten a bear's heart and leopard's guts. The longevity grass shouted arrogantly. Its wrinkled face was filled with a smug smile and it was asking for a beating. Under the command of the longevity grass, the god's stone seemed to have nowhere to hide. No matter where it ran to or what shape it took, the longevity grass could detect it immediately. The person in the stone, listen up. Come out now. If you come out now and kneel before me and beg for mercy, I might spare your life. Boy, don't think that this broken stone can save your life. Shao Qing has even torn apart a divine beast. Come out and accept your death. The person in the stone, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. If you anger me, I will kill your entire family. Ling Shao rode on the god's stone and flew in front while the green-scaled heaven-devouring python chased behind. However, the longevity grass was very strange. It kept threatening Ling Shao and it made Ling Shao gnash his teeth in anger. Bastard, wait until I catch you. Let's see if you still dare to be so arrogant. Ling Shao held back a bellyful of anger. This strange longevity grass could make one fly into a rage with just a few words. It was simply infuriating to death without paying for it. Moreover, Ling Shao also realized that the green-scaled heaven-devouring python was extremely strong. It was even comparable to an expert of the 9th level Supreme Realm. Its power was extremely terrifying and it was not something that he could contend with at the moment. Moreover, the commotion might have already alerted the people from the Star Palace. If so, let's make a bigger commotion. When the people from the Star Palace come, I might be able to find a chance. Ling Zhao's eyes shone brightly. He rode on the god's stone and started to rampage in the mountains. Boom! The heavenly deity's stone shone brightly and directly collided with a 10,000 zhang tall mountain. The earth trembled, and the mountain collapsed with a loud bang. Rocks flew everywhere, and the earth cracked open as if it was the end of the world. Whoosh! Ling Shao rode on the Empyrean stone and rushed underground, then rushed out from an active volcano. Immediately, the volcano exploded, endless lava spewed out, and raging flames burned fiercely. The surrounding towering ancient trees were all engulfed by the sea of fire. Bastard in the stone, you're dead. Grandpa is telling you, Grandpa will not let you go. You're pissing me off. You're the one inside the stone. Grandpa will definitely skin you alive and tear your tendons out. You'll never be able to reincarnate. Bastard, you're dead. The longevity grass behind him roared angrily. Although the azure Qilin heaven-swallowing python's speed was very fast, it was only about the same as the celestial divine stone's speed. There was no way it could catch up to Ling Shao in a short period of time. Ling Shao turned a deaf ear to him and continued flying forward. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. Suddenly, he felt that there was a huge mountain in front of him that was shrouded in clouds and mist, exuding an aura that made his heart palpitate. There was a ferocious beast there. Although its aura was obscure, it was extremely terrifying. It was actually not any weaker than the heaven-swallowing cyan python. Ling Zhao's eyes moved, and he suddenly revealed a cold smile. The god's stone instantly rushed toward the huge mountain, and like a bright sun, it directly exploded on the mountain. Rumble! The huge mountain directly exploded with a loud bang. Rocks flew everywhere, and the light was dazzling. Huge rocks weighing tens of thousands of jin were swept high into the sky. The god's stone took advantage of this opportunity to instantly restrain its aura, and flew away with the broken rocks. Roar! An earth-shattering roar was heard. Dazzling golden light burst out in an instant, and a 100 zhang tall golden ape rushed out from the mountain. Its entire body was surging with qi and blood, as if it was going to shatter the void. Its eyes were filled with flames of anger. There was a huge black cudgel in its hand. It was like a mountain pillar, wrapped in a monstrous evil aura, and it smashed toward the heaven-swallowing cyan python. Just now, when the god's stone crashed into the territory of the golden ape, its aura disappeared in an instant. With the spiritual intelligence of the golden ape, there was naturally no way for it to discern that Ling Xiao was using the tiger to devour the wolf. It directly vented its anger on the heaven-swallowing cyan python. Bastard, how did we come to this guy's territory? That bastard in the stone, I'm telling you, you're dead meat. Little cyan, let's go. The longevity grass was furious. Obviously, it knew that the golden ape had left, and hurriedly commanded the heaven-swallowing cyan python to leave. However, the golden ape had already targeted the heaven-swallowing cyan python. How could it let it leave just like that? Rumble. The huge cudgel smashed toward the heaven-swallowing cyan python, and the terrifying fluctuation caused the void to tremble violently. The heaven-swallowing cyan python seemed to have been provoked. It also roared angrily, and its huge snake tail swept out, slapping toward the golden ape. Boom! The black cudgel smashed onto the snake's tail, and a bright light exploded. From the body of the heaven-swallowing cyan python, countless cyan lightning flowed along the black cudgel, and instantly enveloped the golden ape. The cyan lightning seemed to contain an extremely terrifying power, and it electrocuted the golden ape until it cried out loudly, and its golden hairs stood on end. Bang! 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 The golden ape seemed to know the power of the heaven-swallowing cyan python, and it threw away the black cudgel. It pounded its chest with its fists, and like an invincible King Kong, it charged toward the heaven-swallowing cyan python. Could this golden ape be the legendary ancient ferocious beast, the King Kong divine ape? Ling Xiao was shocked. He could feel that there was an extremely violent energy flowing in the body of the golden ape. Moreover, its physical body was extremely terrifying, and its blood was monstrous. Its entire body seemed to be cast in gold, and it was not at a disadvantage when fighting the heaven-swallowing cyan python with its bare hands. However, the heaven-swallowing cyan python was not to be trifled with. Its demonic aura surged, and cyan lightning filled the air. Its huge snake body coiled around the King Kong divine ape, and each of its scales pierced into the body of the King Kong divine ape, as if devouring its life force. Rumble. The intense battle between the two ancient ferocious beasts erupted in an instant. At this moment, even if the longevity grass cried out loudly, it could not control the situation before it. The two ancient ferocious beasts were bloodthirsty, and each of them fought without fear of death. Meanwhile, Ling Xiao hid in the sky god's stone, and did not leave, watching the battle between the two ancient ferocious beasts. The King Kong divine ape and the heaven-swallowing cyan python were both ancient ferocious beasts, and their strength was on par. If they were both injured in the end, perhaps Ling Xiao would be able to reap the benefits. However, what Ling Xiao did not know was that the battle between the King Kong divine ape and the heaven-swallowing cyan python had attracted the attention of others. A group of uninvited guests were rushing in this direction. Chapter 779. It's definitely a fight between supreme beasts. Let's go and take a look. Is there any treasure? The longevity grass might be there. Let's speed up. A group of young disciples in starry robes and black armors were excited. They could feel the earth-shattering fight in the distance and they rushed over. The leaders were Ziwei Xingzi and Skyscorching Monster Emperor. Ziwei, are you sure the longevity grass is in this mountain? Skyscorching Monster Emperor's eyes shone brightly as he asked. It shouldn't be wrong. The seniors of Star Palace once saw the longevity grass here 1,000 years ago. However, it was a pity that the longevity grass had already become an unparalleled divine medicine. It possessed extreme speed and there was no way to catch it. However, the seniors of my sect remembered the place where the longevity grass grew. The place where the dragon vein nurtured the spirit was in this area. Ziwei Xingzi said with a smile. Great. If we can get the longevity grass, the two of us might be able to go through the supreme tribulation first and become supreme beasts. We might even be able to come out on top in the Chosen One meeting. Also, I want to kill that bastard Ling Xiao. Sky-scorching monster emperor said with a cold glint in his eyes. Your Highness, don't worry. Ling Xiao will definitely die this time. Not only us, but he has also offended the successor of the Combat God Hall. The Combat God Hall will not let him go. Ziwei Xingzi said. Great. Ha ha ha. Let's go and take a look. If the two supreme beasts are injured, we might be able to take advantage of them. Sky-scorching monster emperor licked his lips and said slowly. His aura was getting stronger and his blood was boiling. During his time in the Time Cave, he had killed countless powerful Archean xenogeniacs and devoured their blood essences. This made his Kylan bloodline even more powerful and terrifying. If he could devour the two supreme beasts, he might be able to break through to the supreme realm without the longevity grass. In another mountain range, Zhao Ritian was wearing a golden robe and riding on the void golden eyes beast, his body exuding a majestic aura. Even his mount, the void golden eyes beast, had the strength of a half-step to demon master. Apparently, it had obtained a great opportunity. Second uncle, are you sure there is the longevity grass there? What does the longevity grass have to do with the battle between the two supreme beasts? Zhao Ritian asked doubtfully. It shouldn't be wrong. Although that longevity grass is very slippery and has been hiding in the Time Cave for hundreds of thousands of years, it still likes to attach itself to powerful vicious beasts. I suspect that the longevity grass is most likely there. Ritian, as long as you get the longevity grass, it's a supreme divine herb. It'll definitely help you pass the supreme tribulation. At that time, it'll be a piece of cake for you to crush Ling Xiao. Second uncle chuckled. Good. The longevity grass belongs to me, Zhao Ritian. I will kill whoever dares to snatch it from me. Zhao Ritian said proudly. At the mention of crushing Ling Xiao, it was as if he had been injected with chicken blood, his eyes shining brightly. Whoosh! The void golden-eyed beast exuded golden light. It stepped on clouds and its eyes were like golden lamps. Its aura was extraordinary. It was like a golden bolt of lightning that shot into the distance. Apart from Ziwei Xingzi, the sky-burning demon emperor, and Zhao Ritian, many other geniuses nearby were also alerted by the battle between the King Kong ape and the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. They quickly made their way over. Rumble. The battle between the King Kong ape and the green-scaled heaven-devouring python was too horrifying. The mountains within 100 miles were flattened. Mountains flew in all directions, the earth cracked, and the towering ancient trees were reduced to dust. The earth caved in a few hundred feet, and the river flowed backward, forming a huge lake. The King Kong ape and the green-scaled heaven-devouring python had already exchanged more than 100 blows. Every blow was dangerous, and their bodies were riddled with wounds. Their combat strength began to decline rapidly. The green scales on the green-scaled heaven-devouring python were shattered, and a section of its tail was broken. There were bloodstains in its eyes, which were caused by the King Kong ape's punch on its head. The King Kong ape's strength was unparalleled. That punch had almost smashed its head into pieces. The King Kong ape was not faring well either. Its body was covered with wounds, and there was even a bloody scar on its face, which added to its ferocious aura. Roar! A terrifying roar shook the heavens and the earth. The ferocious beasts in the distance trembled in fear and fled in all directions. Rumble! The King Kong ape thumped its chest and punched the green-scaled heaven-devouring python's body. Instantly, dozens of scales were reduced to dust. The green-scaled heaven-devouring python roared, but the ferocious aura in its eyes grew stronger. It instantly turned into a green stream of light and wrapped around the King Kong ape's body. The green scales sank deep into the King Kong ape's body, exuding a powerful devouring power. It began to devour the King Kong ape's blood essence. Bang! 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 The King Kong ape was in pain. It bared its sharp teeth and bit the green-scaled heaven-devouring python's body. At the same time, it smashed its fists at the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. Every punch would send flesh and blood flying. It was like the beating of a heavenly drum, producing a dull sound. Little Green, stop fighting. Run. Longevity Grass was so anxious that he was about to jump up. The King Kong ape and the green-scaled heaven-devouring python were evenly matched in strength. This battle was too fierce. If this continued, the green-scaled heaven-devouring python would most likely devour all of the King Kong ape's blood essence, and the green-scaled heaven-devouring python would be killed by the King Kong ape. This is my chance. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly. He took advantage of the battle between the King Kong ape and the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. The god's stone wriggled slowly, and he was already 1,000 feet away from the longevity grass. To Ling Xiao, the distance of 1,000 feet was just a matter of seconds. Whoosh! He instantly rushed out of the god's stone and used a secret teleportation technique. It was as if he had teleported. He appeared beside the longevity grass and reached out his hand. Bastard, are you trying to take advantage of the situation? I've already seen this coming. The longevity grass flew into a rage. Its eyes glinted coldly. Suddenly, its body was surrounded by a green glow. Its leaves swayed, and suddenly, a dazzling sword light appeared in the sky, slashing toward Ling Xiao. The sword radiance was dazzling. It was like the Milky Way that crossed the 9 heavens. It carried an unparalleled sword aura that was as brilliant as the heavenly way. It was as if the sword could even cut down the stars. Ling Xiao was slightly stunned. He did not expect the longevity grass to be able to launch such a terrifying attack. The sword radiance had the power to threaten a prime. It was extremely terrifying. However, it was still not enough for Ling Xiao. Whoosh! A dazzling divine light filled Ling Xiao's palm. In an instant, it soared into the sky and turned into millions of dazzling sword auras. They multiplied endlessly and enveloped the sword radiance. This was the longevity sword aura, one of the 3 great sword techniques. It could form the longevity sword aura realm. Not only did it break the sword radiance in an instant, but it also enveloped the longevity grass. Chapter 780. You displayed the longevity sword beam earlier. There was a look of shock on the longevity grass's face as he said. You know about the longevity sword chi as well. It seems like the rumors about you being the supreme divine herb left behind by Dugu Qiubai are true. Ling Xiao looked at the longevity grass in surprise. Swoosh! Swoosh! Ling Xiao formed a seal with his hands and instantly laid down a few restriction runes on the longevity grass. Unexpectedly, the longevity grass did not resist. Kid, let's talk about this. If you help me save Little Green, I'll teach you Dugu Qiubai's supreme technique. It's definitely more powerful than the longevity sword chi that you've cultivated. Longevity Grass looked at Ling Xiao and chuckled. Is that the technique you used just now? It doesn't look like anything special. Ling Xiao pursed his lips. However, he was surprised. The technique that Longevity Grass used just now had a vast sword intent. It was definitely a divine tier martial technique. However, Longevity Grass did not seem to be able to use too much of its power. That was why Ling Xiao could easily break it. That sword attack had indeed surpassed the Longevity Sword Chi. Could it be that the technique that Longevity Grass used was Dugu Qiubai's true inheritance? Country bumpkin, you're ignorant. Earlier, I merely utilized a strength comparable to a monarch realm expert, yet that sword strike of mine possessed the might to threaten and exalt. If I possessed the strength of an exalt, then I would even be able to slaughter a god. The Longevity Grass spoke proudly. Will you die if you don't brag? Is the Azure Qilin heaven-devouring python your pet? If it is, I can save it. Ling Xiao rolled his eyes and glared at Longevity Grass. He felt that he was surrounded by a bunch of weirdos. That big radish was a weirdo, and this Longevity Grass was even weirder. None of them were normal. Longevity Grass said angrily, Little Green is my partner, a good friend. She's not a pet. Kid, let me tell you, If you don't save Little Green, I'll explode myself. You won't get anything then. Ling Xiao sneered. Oh. You dare to threaten me? Do you believe that I will kill both the Vajra ape and the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python? The longevity grass immediately calmed down. It smiled bitterly and said, Kid, since you can produce sword chi, you must be a descendant of Dugu Chilbai. We are family, so there is no need to fight, right? Quickly go and save little Qing. If you alarm the others, then it will be troublesome. All right. Ling Xiao nodded. He did not intend to give up on the green Qilin heaven-devouring python. Now that he had the longevity grass, the green Qilin heaven-devouring python would definitely listen to him obediently. This was like having another super fighter. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment, several air-piercing sounds were heard. A group of figures with powerful auras were flying towards them. Ling Xiao. A cold and furious voice sounded. The sky-burning demon emperor immediately looked at Ling Xiao. The disciples of Star Palace and Sky Demon Palace rushed over. Heaven-burning demon emperor, purple star child. There was a flash of light in Ling Xiao's eyes. The commotion had alarmed them. Purple Star Child saw the longevity grass in Ling Xiao's hand and said coldly, Ling Xiao, hand over the longevity grass and I will spare your life. Otherwise, you will definitely die today. Hand over the longevity grass. The sky-burning demon emperor said coldly. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Whoosh! 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 More people rushed over. They were all experts from various martial arts sanctuaries. They were alarmed by the commotion caused by the battle between the Vajra ape and the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python. There were many people that Ling Xiao knew. Experts from the Nantian family, Emperor Tomb Mountain, Precious Treasure Pavilion and other martial arts sanctuaries. Even Zhao Ritian was there. Ling Xiao's eyes glinted. It seemed that there would be a great battle today. What? The supreme divine medicine, the longevity grass. I heard that the longevity grass is the supreme divine medicine left behind by the sword demon, Dugu Chilbai. It might contain Dugu Chilbai's inheritance. Ling Xiao, hand over the longevity grass and I will spare your life. Ling Xiao, don't make a mistake. Many experts scolded one after another. Their eyes were filled with greed as they stared at the longevity grass. Although they knew that Ling Xiao was an expert on the Green Cloud leaderboard and had great combat strength, the Ziwei Star and the Sky-Burning Demon Emperor were present. The Ziwei Star was ranked higher than Ling Xiao. In addition, there were hundreds of experts gathered here. It was impossible for Ling Xiao to be a match for so many people. So your name is Ling Xiao. I don't care what your name is. Hurry up and save Little Green. It can't hold on for much longer. The longevity grass said anxiously. In the distance, the Vajra ape and the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python were entangled with each other. Their auras had become extremely weak. It was as though they were in a deadlock. The two beasts were determined to see who would kill the other first. Some of the martial arts experts even approached the two beasts. Their eyes were filled with passion and greed. There was only one longevity grass. It might be difficult for them to fight for it. However, the two supreme beasts were full of treasures. Now that both of them were injured, it was a good opportunity for them to reap the benefits. Don't worry. With me around, the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python won't die. A sharp glint flashed across Ling Xiao's eyes as he spoke indifferently. Whoosh! Ling Xiao ignored those people. He turned into a ray of golden light and rushed towards the Vajra ape and the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python. Boom! Ling Xiao struck out with his palm. Streaks of dark light burst forth from his palm. He had used the great art of soul destruction and instantly shot the soul-destroying needle into the Vajra ape's forehead. The Vajra ape was extremely weak. It was fighting the azure Qilin heaven-devouring python with its ferocious instincts and willpower. If it was at its peak, Ling Xiao's great soul destruction technique and soul destruction needle would have no effect on it. It wouldn't even be able to break its body. But now, the Vajra ape had no power to resist. Boom! The Vajra ape's forehead split open. The demon soul in its consciousness was its only weakness. Now that it was exposed to Ling Xiao, it was instantly killed by the great soul destruction technique. The Vajra ape's eyes widened in disbelief. It couldn't imagine that it would be killed by a bug. Oh no, stop him. He wants to get his hands on the two supreme beasts. Everyone, let's attack him together. The sky-scorching demon emperor and Ziwei Xingzi's faces changed. They instantly leaped towards Ling Xiao, their bodies exuding a towering divine radiance. The sky-scorching demon emperor used the Qilin fist. His body was surrounded by blazing flames. There seemed to be a giant Qilin jumping out from his fist radiance. It carried a ferocious aura and pounced towards Ling Xiao. Chapter 781. Ling Xiao, let go of the two honorable beasts. Ling Xiao, you're courting death. Everyone seemed to be infuriated by Ling Xiao as they charged towards him. The longevity grass was already in Ling Xiao's hands, but he still wanted to get his hands on the two honorable beasts. Naturally, everyone was enraged. However, it was too late. After Ling Xiao killed the King Kong ape, he immediately kept the corpse of the King Kong ape and the unconscious green-scaled heaven-devouring python into the divine stone. Ling Xiao used a teleportation secret technique, leaving behind an afterimage on the spot, but his entire person appeared 1,000 feet away. Rumble. Many powerful martial artists attacked at the same time. The momentum was earth-shattering, especially the Kylin fist of the sky-scorching demon emperor and the emperor's fist of the Ziwei star. They contained terrifying power. At Ling Xiao's original position, a mountain peak that was thousands of feet high was instantly turned into dust as the void cracked. Heaven and earth shook as divine light burst out. It was as if a small sun had exploded. The radiant light shone on heaven and earth, causing countless people's hearts to tremble. Ling Xiao, hand over the longevity grass and I'll spare your life. Zhao Ritian shouted. His eyes were filled with jealousy as he threw a punch at Ling Xiao. Zhao Ritian was so jealous that he was about to go crazy. Ling Xiao was everywhere. All the treasures that he wanted were snatched away by Ling Xiao. Zhao Ritian felt wronged. Although he was extremely fearful of Ling Xiao, at this moment, with so many powerhouses present, he was instantly emboldened and brazenly attacked Ling Xiao. Rumble. This was the sky-scorching sun fist of the Sun Palace. It was a supreme killing skill that was activated by his divine body of the sun. Blood chi shot up to the sky as the fist radiance was like a blazing sun that blasted towards Ling Xiao. Oh! Zhao Ritian, you've grown up. How dare you attack me? Ling Xiao sneered and threw a punch as well. Golden blood chi exploded as dragon power filled the air. The punch exploded the sun. Both of them shook and retreated. Swoosh! 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 With sky-burning demon emperor, Ziwei Star Sun, and Zhao Ritian as the leaders, countless experts from Sky Demon Palace, Star Palace, Nantian Clan, Emperor Tomb Mountain, and others surrounded Ling Xiao. There were no less than 1,000 people, and every one of them had an incomparably powerful aura. Their eyes were cold as they stared fixedly at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, you won't be able to escape. Hand over those two supreme being beasts and the longevity grass, and we'll spare your life. Ling Xiao, although you are very strong, do you think you can fight against so many of us by yourself? Hand it over, or you will die a horrible death. Why are you talking so much nonsense with him? Let's just kill him. Whoever grabs it will get the opportunity. Over 1,000 experts surrounded Ling Xiao, as if they had roused everyone's courage. Their eyes were all filled with cold killing intent. Ling brat, why aren't you running? Do you really want to fight 1,000 people alone? Longevity Grass said anxiously as he sat on Ling Xiao's shoulder. I really want to give it a try. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and his entire body exuded a majestic battle intent. "You're crazy, you're definitely crazy. You're definitely going to die if you're surrounded by so many people. I beg you, Ancestor Ling, if you don't run, we're all going to die." Longevity Grass was about to cry as he nagged in Ling Xiao's ear. "Don't worry, I won't die." Ling Xiao smiled faintly and stuffed the Longevity Grass into the celestial stone. "If you want to fight, then let's fight. You want to kill me, Ling Xiao, with just your motley crew, you are not worthy." Ling Xiao laughed coldly, and his voice reverberated between heaven and earth. "You're courting death. Kill him." Everyone was infuriated by Ling Xiao. With so many people surrounding him, not only did he not run away, but he even dared to speak so arrogantly. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. Suddenly, 3 old men in black robes charged towards Ling Xiao. They were all experts from Emperor Tomb Mountain, and they had already passed the 4 symbols calamity. Their auras were extremely terrifying. "Kill!" Ling Xiao also let out an explosive roar, exploding in an instant. The sky-swallowing sword appeared in his palm, and it shot out billions of rays of light. Ling Xiao slashed with the sword, and the heavens and earth shook. Countless white sword rays appeared in the void, and they multiplied endlessly, as though they had formed a sword realm. This was the Longevity Sword aura. In Ling Xiao's hand, it started to shine with a peerless radiance. "Ling Xiao, don't be so arrogant." Sky-burning demon royal's fists flew across the sky, and the gloves on his fists were a powerful supreme weapon. Dazzling true sun fire gathered on the fist radiance, and he charged towards Ling Xiao. A purple longsword appeared in Ziwei Xingzi's hand. It was the crepe myrtle holy sword, and it was also a powerful supreme weapon of Star Palace. Zhao Ritian took out a golden saber that looked like it was made of gold, and there was a mysterious image of a 3-legged golden crow on it. It was the Golden Crow Holy Saber, and it was also a supreme treasure bestowed by the Sun Palace Master. With the 3 of them as the leaders, everyone suddenly went berserk, and they used their unique skills to attack Ling Xiao. "Die!" There was a flash of light in Ling Xiao's eyes, and the sky-swallowing sword slashed down from the sky. The Longevity Sword aura instantly went berserk, and the dazzling sword radiance crushed the 3 elders of Emperor Tomb Mountain into pieces. Virum. The sky-swallowing sword radiance flashed, and it devoured the primordial spirits of the 3 elders of Emperor Tomb Mountain. There seemed to be a wave of desire coming from the sky-swallowing sword. It wanted to fight, to kill, and to devour everything. Rumble. Ling Xiao leaped into the sky, and the sword slashed down from the sky. Suddenly, more than 10 martial artists' bodies exploded, and they turned into a mist of blood, which was devoured by the sky-swallowing sword. The sky-swallowing sword's radiance became even more dazzling. Rays of dazzling sword radiance burst out, and they contained an extreme amount of killing power. Although the supreme weapon from his previous life was heavily damaged, it had also started to unleash a peerless radiance. As it devoured the flesh and primordial spirits of the living, the sky-swallowing sword's power became stronger and stronger. "Ah ah ah!" Screams sounded one after another, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. Broken limbs were everywhere. The sky-swallowing sword slashed down, and it was like cutting vegetables. Suddenly, a large number of martial artists died tragically. Ling Xiao was like a tiger in a flock of sheep. Many martial artists were crying for their parents, and it was extremely miserable. "Ling Xiao, eat my fist." The sky-scorching demon emperor's eyes were burning with killing intent, and he threw out a punch. Suddenly, the heaven and earth trembled, and a ferocious Qilin pounced towards Ling Xiao. After being defeated by Ling Xiao in the holy ground, the sky-scorching demon emperor could not forget about it. He wanted to defeat Ling Xiao and avenge his humiliation. Chapter 782. Clang. The sky-scorching demon emperor's fist landed on the sky-devouring sword, causing sparks to fly everywhere. The sky-devouring sword trembled slightly as it emitted a dazzling radiance. "Sky-scorching demon emperor, you haven't made any progress after such a long time." Ling Xiao sneered as his eyes shone with sharpness. He struck out with his palm, causing golden clouds to explode. The roar of a dragon soared into the sky as a true dragon charged towards the sky-scorching demon emperor. This was the Thousand Dragons god-slaying technique. Although Ling Xiao had only formed one true dragon, it wasn't something that an ordinary person could withstand. Bang! The sky-scorching demon emperor's arm went numb. Although most of the force was absorbed by the gloves, he was still struck by the true dragon. Even his Qilin fist was broken apart. His body felt as though he was struck by lightning as he was sent flying. Swoosh! The Purple Star Child and Zhao Ritian charged towards Ling Xiao at the same time. The Purple Star Child and Golden Crow Saber contained extreme power. The sky was filled with dazzling starlight as the sun soared across the sky. It was as though Ling Xiao was pulled into the galaxy. The Purple Star Child stepped on the galaxy like a majestic emperor. The Purple Star Child slowly descended as though billions of stars were descending. Zhao Ritian was incomparably violent. The Golden Crow Saber was surrounded by the Grand Sun True Fire as it slashed towards Ling Xiao. Boom! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as the sky-devouring sword soared into the sky. Billions of eternal sword chi spread out and each of the sword chi accurately pierced through a star. The stars in the sky were shattered at the same time as the sky-devouring sword slashed onto the Purple Star Child. Bang! Sparks flew as the sky-devouring sword buzzed. However, Ling Xiao seemed to be rooted in the void and didn't move an inch. The Purple Star Child took a dozen steps back as the blood in his body churned. His eyes were filled with shock. He was ranked 6th on the Green Cloud leaderboard and had once killed a supreme being. His strength was unparalleled and he didn't take Ling Xiao seriously. However, after this exchange, he realized how terrifying Ling Xiao was. That kind of terrifying physical strength was simply like a divine beast in human form. Any kind of supernatural power or martial arts would be shattered by Ling Xiao's punch. After Ling Xiao defeated the Purple Star Child, the sky-devouring sword turned slightly in the void and blocked the Golden Crow Saber. Rumble! The moment the heaven-devouring sword clashed with the Golden Crow blade, Ling Xiao's gaze was extremely sharp as he threw a punch at Zhao Ritian. 10,000 Dragons God-slaying technique. A golden dragon soared through the sky and attacked. Behind Ling Xiao, golden clouds swirled, and there were signs of a second dragon forming. Kill, kill, kill. The sky-burning demon emperor roared the word, kill, 3 times in a row, shaking the heavens and earth. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. He turned his fist into a palm, and a palm print slashed toward Ling Xiao. There were actually 3 huge saber lights coming toward Ling Xiao. Triple Slaughter God Blade. Each slash was more terrifying than the previous one. The 3 slashes were filled with a monstrous baleful aura. It was incomparably terrifying. Kill! Ziwei Xingzi and Zhao Ritian's eyes flashed as they saw an opportunity. Simultaneously, they unleashed their powerful killing techniques and rushed towards Ling Xiao. Apart from the 3 of them, there were also a few half-step supremes who had passed the tribulation of the 4 symbols. They were a few old men who looked like they didn't have much time left. They wanted to take a risk and kill Ling Xiao to obtain the longevity grass. Bring it on! Ha 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 ha! There was no trace of fear in Ling Xiao's eyes. Instead, he laughed loudly, his voice shaking the clouds. Rumble! A 3-legged, 2-eared cauldron flew out of him, shining with dazzling light as it floated above his head. The King Heaven Devourer Cauldron. As soon as the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron appeared, heaven and earth rumbled, and the void trembled. Boundless golden light erupted, transforming into a dazzling vortex. I'll use you lot as a test subject. Devour heavens, extinguish earth, 7 limitations God art. Eyes flashing, Ling Xiao shot up into the air, his aura exploding as the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron devoured the quintessence energy of heaven and earth. Then, he unleashed 7 fist strikes. The first fist was the 4 symbols heaven striking form, which unleashed the 4 symbols godlike. The second fist was the five elements heaven-sealing form, which unleashed the power of the five elements, creating a dazzling aegis. The third fist was the six paths of reincarnation form, which unleashed a primal chaos mist that caused the world of six wheels to appear behind Ling Xiao. The fourth fist was the seven stars heaven-shattering form, which unleashed seven paragon stars that illuminated heaven and earth. The fifth fist was the eight wildernesses burning heaven form, which unleashed a blaze that could destroy the world. The sixth fist was the nine slaughters to ruin form, which unleashed nine terrifying godlight that seemed capable of reducing all things in heaven and earth to nothing. The seventh fist was the 10 directions annihilation form, which unleashed boundless death energy that caused primal chaos to explode. The 7 stances of the 7 limits divine technique of devouring heaven and destroying earth were actually all unleashed by Ling Xiao in one breath. That was especially true of the 7th fist. Normally speaking, only paragons could unleash it. But now, Ling Xiao was using it so forcefully that he felt like he was draining all of his true energy and blood. 7 streaks of terrifying fist radiance swept across the sky and exploded in an instant. Ruiyuambul. The only thing left in heaven and earth was a primal chaos mist. Godlight filled the air, and boundless killing energy filled the area. The 7 limitations God art caused countless martial artists to be crushed into powder, which was then consumed by the King Heaven Devourer cauldron. Rumble. The heaven-scorching demon emperor's triple slaughtering god saber shattered, and he was sent flying by Ling Xiao's fist. His fleshly body cracked open, and he coughed up mouthfuls of blood. Xing. Ling Xiao took the crepe myrtle god sword and the golden crow god saber head-on. His fist strikes were invincible, and when they landed on the paragon treasures, they unleashed shocking godly might. At the same time, the boundless god power flowed through the paragon treasures and into the bodies of the Emperor's Star and Zhao Ritian. Pop! Both of them coughed up mouthfuls of blood, and their faces turned as pale as death. How is this possible? The heaven-scorching demon emperor, the Emperor's Star, and Zhao Ritian were completely flabbergasted. Ling Xiao's power surpassed that of a paragon. It was almost as if he had touched upon the legendary god-spirit realm. It caused their souls to tremble. The other martial artists weren't as lucky. The 7 limitations god art of devouring heaven and destroying earth burst out, and 7 fist lights filled the air. Large numbers of martial artists were killed, and their bodies exploded. Their primordial spirits vanished, and they were reduced to a bloody mist. When the world returned to normal, everyone saw that the surrounding mountains had been flattened, and the land within a radius of 1,000 miles had turned into a vast ocean. And nearly half of the 1,000 powerful martial artists that originally besieged Ling Xiao were actually killed by Ling Xiao. He's not human. He's not human. That's not the power of a human. It's the power of a god spirit. It's the power of the Tao of heaven. It's terrifying. Run. Ling Xiao is a god of slaughter. He's a devil. The martial artists were scared out of their wits by Ling Xiao. Their eyes were filled with terror, and they no longer had any will to fight. Chapter 783. Ling Xiao's 7 fist imprints had shocked everyone, including the heaven-scorching demon emperor, the Emperor of the Purple Star, and Zhao Ritian. Don't be afraid. Those 7 fist imprints must have been Ling Xiao's strongest attack. He can't fight back at all. Everyone, attack. Kill him. The Emperor of the Purple Star's eyes were filled with cold killing intent as he glared at Ling Xiao. He cut a sorry figure, his violet robe in tatters, his hair disheveled, and his face bloodied. His handsome features were now twisted into a vicious grimace. Who was the Emperor of the Purple Star? He was ranked 6th on the Green Cloud Stele, and had once killed a paragon. He was the #1 genius in the northern prefectures of the war god continent. Obviously, he thought highly of himself, so the fact that he had suffered such a crushing defeat at the hands of Ling Xiao was a great humiliation. However, the Emperor of the Purple Star was convinced that Ling Xiao had used some sort of forbidden technique. It couldn't have been sustained for long. That level of power was enough to fight a peak paragon. That's right. Everyone, attack. Ling Xiao has no energy left to fight back. He's just bluffing. Kill him. The heaven-scorching demon emperor's eyes were filled with killing intent as he glared at Ling Xiao. You're welcome to try. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. He hovered there in the air, his robes whiter than snow. His black hair whipped around him, and his eyes glittered with dazzling sharpness. Many people were scared out of their wits and ran away. However, there were still some bold people who stayed behind. Their eyes were filled with restlessness. And yet, none of them dared to make the first move. Treasures were good, but they needed to be alive to claim them. Ling Xiao's 7-fist imprints from the heaven-devouring earth-extinguishing 7 limits god art had drained him dry. However, the quintessence blood and nascent divinities of the hundreds of cultivators he had killed had been absorbed by the King Heaven-Devourer cauldron. However, Ling Xiao didn't make a move. He wanted to see who would dare to make a move on him. Second Master, should I go up and kill Ling Xiao and steal his longevity grass? Zhao Ritian's eyes revealed a hint of eagerness. Are you stupid? Why aren't you running? Let me tell you, Ling Xiao's cultivation hasn't been depleted at all. If you don't run now, it'll be too late. There was a hint of anxiety in the second uncle's voice. What? No damage at all? How is this possible? Zhao Ritian's eyes were filled with disbelief, but he still chose to believe his second uncle's words. Instantly, he turned into a ray of light and ran away without even looking at Ling Xiao. The 10th Holy Son of the Sun Palace has also left? Someone exclaimed, and the hesitation in his eyes became even more intense. He began to have a bad feeling in his heart. Elder Wang, go and kill Ling Xiao. Ziwei Xingzi said coldly as he pointed at an elder from Star Palace beside him. Yes. The elder of Star Palace shivered and there was fear in his eyes. However, he still nodded and agreed. He gritted his teeth and swung his saber at Ling Xiao. Rumble. The starlight was dazzling and the saber radiance was dazzling. There was a flash in Ling Xiao's eyes and he didn't block it. Instead, he used the secret skill of shifting and dodged the attack. Rumble. At Ling Xiao's original position, a small hill was instantly flattened by the saber. Rocks flew everywhere and the aura was terrifying. I'll warn you one last time. Whoever dares to attack me will have to bear the consequences. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with coldness as he scanned the crowd. Ha ha ha. Ling Xiao, you still dare to bluff? Die. Ziwei Xingzi sneered. He could already tell from Elder Wang's probing that Ling Xiao's footsteps were weak and his body was sluggish. With one look, he could tell that it was caused by the exhaustion of his power. He immediately let go of his worries and charged at Ling Xiao with his Ziwei divine sword. Rumble. He swung his sword across the sky and the Ziwei divine sword shone brightly. The power of law filled the air, as though it had turned into billions of starry sword radiance. At the same time, it enveloped Ling Xiao. Ziwei Xingzi is right. Ling Xiao is bluffing. Everyone, let's attack together. If we kill Ling Xiao, the longevity grass and the honorable beast will be ours. Kill him. Many ambitious people seemed to be filled with confidence. Their eyes were cold as they unleashed powerful martial arts towards Ling Xiao. However, the sky-burning demon emperor was hesitant. Although he had also unleashed powerful killing techniques, he was the last one. He had fought with Ling Xiao before. Ling Xiao's calmness did not seem to be an act. Was this a trap? At the thought of this, the sky-burning demon emperor shuddered and became more vigilant. There are indeed people who are not afraid of death. In that case, I'll fulfill your wish. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed sharply as he sneered. Rumble. Golden light shone brightly around him and his blood qi surged. A majestic dragon's power spread out and the dragon's roar shook the sky. He unleashed the 1,000 dragons' god-slaying skill and slammed his palm out. Behind Ling Xiao, there were 2 true dragons that soared across the sky. They erupted with terrifying power and charged at the top powers. Feeling the ferocious and terrifying aura, the top powers' faces instantly changed. Oh no, this is Ling Xiao's trap. Run! The top powers' eyes were filled with terror and their hearts were filled with regret and fear. Why didn't they run away earlier? Why were they blinded by their greed? Rumble. However, it was too late. The elder from Star Palace was the first to bear the brunt of the attack. The huge dragon claw slammed down and instantly crushed his body into pieces. He exploded in the void. The two true dragons wreaked havoc among the crowd and each of them possessed power that was close to the honorable realm. There were screams and a large number of top powers were covered in blood and exploded into a bloody mist. As for Ziwei Xingzi, Ling Xiao took special care of him. The true dragon soared across the sky and the huge dragon claw that was wrapped in monstrous divine power slammed down on him. Clang! The dragon claw hit the crepe myrtle divine sword and the resplendent runes exploded. Ziwei Xingzi quivered and felt his arm go numb. It was as though he had lost consciousness. In the next moment, the other dragon claw passed through the layers of sword gleams and smashed into his chest. Kacha! His ribs were broken and Ziwei Xingzi's chest caved in. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his aura instantly weakened. Impossible! It's impossible! You unleashed such a terrifying blow. How could you not be injured at all? Ziwei Xingzi's eyes were filled with disbelief and a tinge of fear. Chapter 784. Nothing is impossible. I've given you everything. Since you don't cherish it, you can go to hell. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed coldly as he threw a punch at Ziwei Xingzi. Don't you dare hurt Ziwei Xingzi. Ling Xiao, Ziwei Xingzi is the son of Star Emperor. If you dare to kill him, Star Emperor will not let you off. A few elders from Star Palace pounced forward fearlessly and roared at Ling Xiao. Star Emperor's son. He's still going to die. Ling Xiao's eyes were cold as his fist print contained a terrifying power. The elders of Star Palace who stood in front of him were like paper as they were torn to shreds by the fist radiance. Seeing Ling Xiao approaching, Ziwei Xingzi's eyes were filled with fear as he felt the burning killing intent from Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, if you dare to kill me, my father will not let you off. Let me go and I promise not to be your enemy anymore. Ziwei Xingzi shouted fiercely. Too late. The conflict between Star Palace and I has long been irreconcilable. Ling Xiao laughed coldly as his eyes flashed with sharpness. He threw a punch at Ziwei Xingzi, breaking the Ziwei Xingzi's sword and slamming into Ziwei Xingzi's body. Boom! Ziwei Xingzi's body exploded into a bloody mist. Only a purple primordial spirit was left. It looked like a smaller version of Ziwei Xingzi. It looked at Ling Xiao with hatred and then attached itself to the Ziwei Xingzi's sword in an attempt to escape. Wang! The King Heaven Devourer cauldron came crashing down. A powerful devouring force broke through the void and locked down Ziwei Xingzi's primordial spirit. Who dares to kill my son? A majestic and terrifying voice rang out. A young man in white appeared from Ziwei Xingzi's primordial spirit, exuding a majestic aura. Star Emperor. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. This young man in white was Star Emperor. Father, save me. He's Ling Xiao. You have to kill him. Ziwei Xingzi's face was filled with agitation as he shouted. Ling Xiao, you deserve to die. Killing intent flashed in Star Emperor's eyes. He instantly turned into a blazing streamer and pressed down on Ling Xiao's glabella. Even if your true body is here, what can you do to me? Not to mention a mere primordial spirit brand. Ling Xiao sneered and grabbed at the void. A powerful aura burst out and instantly crushed Star Emperor's primordial spirit. Ling Xiao, I'll remember you. If you dare to kill my son, I'll hunt you down to the ends of the earth, I'll tear you to shreds. The moment Star Emperor's primordial spirit mark disappeared, it left behind a furious voice. What a pointless threat. Ling Xiao chuckled coldly, causing the King Heaven Devourer cauldron to flash with bright light and suppress the nascent divinity of the Polestar Starchild. Wang! The crepe myrtle divine sword emitted a strange wave, wanting to break through the void and escape. Boom! Ling Xiao suddenly punched out, and his fist landed on the crepe myrtle divine sword. The crepe myrtle divine sword was dazzling, and the runes were dazzling. The crepe myrtle divine sword was instantly caught by Ling Xiao. What crepe myrtle divine sword? That's the ancient Alioth sword I forged. Do you really think you can cause trouble here? Ling Xiao's eyes were as cold as ice. He had long since realized that the crepe myrtle divine sword was the ancient Alioth sword he had forged years ago. Originally, it had belonged to his fifth apprentice, Yan Yang Tian. However, for some reason, it had ended up in the hands of the Polestar Starchild, who had then refined it into the crepe myrtle divine sword. Whiz! The crepe myrtle divine sword trembled, as if it were afraid, and at the same time, as if it were reluctant to part with it. Without any hesitation, Ling Xiao sucked it into his heaven god stone and suppressed it. Of the more than 100 experts who had attacked Ling Xiao, only a few were caught in the crossfire and were able to escape. Everyone else was killed by Ling Xiao's myriad dragon's god-slaughtering skill. The sky-burning demon emperor, who was at the back of the group, shivered when he saw the purple star had died in Ling Xiao's hands. He wanted to escape without thinking. Heaven scorching, it's time for you to fulfill your promise and become my mount. Ling Xiao's calm voice resounded in the ears of the heaven-scorching demon emperor. The heaven-scorching demon emperor trembled in fear and ran even faster. Trying to run away in front of me? Ling Xiao's eyes flickered as he threw a punch at the heaven-scorching demon emperor. The terrifying fist print caused the void to tremble and the heaven-scorching demon emperor felt his scalp go numb. Roar! He roared and threw out a punch as well. Crack! When the two fists collided, the space instantly shattered. On the other hand, the heaven-scorching demon emperor was blasted hundreds of meters away by Ling Xiao's punch. His arm was numb and his internal organs were churning. Ling Xiao, don't push me too far. The heaven-scorching demon emperor was enraged and his eyes were filled with a ghastly expression. Push me too far. Heaven-scorching demon emperor, why don't you say you're pushing me too far by attacking me together? If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for being too weak. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. Boom! He threw out another punch and his terrifying physical strength exploded. Every punch seemed to be able to shatter the void and was accompanied by a powerful dragon's might. Even though the heaven-scorching demon emperor was a pure-blooded divine beast, the fire Qilin, he could not withstand Ling Xiao's terrifying attack. Ling Xiao, I'll fight you to the death. The sky-scorching demon emperor roared. In an instant, his body shone with a dazzling light. Flames rose up and he turned into a fire Qilin. His body emitted an extremely ferocious aura as his blood-red eyes stared at Ling Xiao. Swoosh! The heaven-scorching demon emperor spat out a dazzling pearl at Ling Xiao. It was emitting scorching solar primordial fire. Solar heavenly pearl. Since you're so eager to give it to me, I'll take it. Ling Xiao said calmly and grabbed the solar heavenly pearl. He had devoured the divine dragon bloodline and survived the earth calamity. His physical strength had reached an unbelievable level and he could fight against a supreme weapon with his bare hands. Whiz! The great solar heavenly pearl spewed out blazing flames, wanting to incinerate Ling Xiao into ashes. However, Ling Xiao's palm was also filled with heaven-devouring fire. Instantly, it clashed with the great solar heavenly pearl, causing blazing flames to erupt. Whoosh! The heaven-devourer cauldron descended from the void toward the solar heavenly pearl. Ling Xiao's figure flashed and instantly turned into a dazzling stream of light. He rode on the fire Qilin's body and punched towards the fire Qilin's head. Boom! Terrifying light exploded out, shattering the scales on the fire Qilin's head and causing it to nearly fall over. Do you submit or not? Ling Xiao said with a cold smile. Then he punched out again. I don't submit. I don't submit. Ling Xiao, kill me if you can. You want me to be your mount? Don't even think about it. The fire Qilin spoke in human language and roared loudly. Its eyes were filled with incomparable madness. Chapter 785. Not convinced? Then I'll beat you until you're convinced. Ling Xiao sneered. His unparalleled fist print exploded with a terrifying radiance and smashed down on the fire Qilin. Rumble. The fire Qilin struggled violently and the sea of fire around it burned the lake dry. The surrounding mountains and ancient trees began to burn fiercely. It shot up into the sky and crashed into the ground, causing the sky to tremble and the ground to crack. The entire area seemed to have turned into a sea of lava. However, Ling Xiao was still riding on the fire Qilin steadily. Ling Xiao threw over 100 punches and the fire Qilin's head was about to be smashed. Countless scales exploded and blood splattered everywhere. In the end, the fire Qilin could not take it anymore and began to beg for mercy. All right, I'm convinced. Ling Xiao, stop hitting me. If you continue, I'll be killed by you. In the end, under the threat of death, the sky-burning demon king chose to give in. He felt that if he did not give in, Ling Xiao might really kill him. The Ziwei star was a good example. Alright, now let go of your primordial spirit. Ling Xiao said with a faint smile. The sky-burning demon king had no choice but to let go of his primordial spirit and let Ling Xiao set up dozens of powerful seals in his primordial spirit. The terrifying aura emitted from those seals made the sky-burning demon emperor tremble in fear. He could not understand those complicated seals at all. He had a premonition that if he dared to betray Ling Xiao could kill him with a single thought. Buzz! The sky-burning demon king's body flashed and his body began to shrink. He turned into a fire Qilin that was 1 zhang tall and 3 zhang long. His body was covered in blazing flames and he looked mighty and majestic. Ling Xiao was also excited. According to the legends, Qilins were the mounts of the ancient heavenly emperor. During the ancient era, Qilins could devour the heavens and the earth, burn rivers and boil seas. They were omnipotent. Now, Ling Xiao had finally captured a Qilin divine beast. The sky-burning demon king pulled a long face and felt that his future was dark. He was the young master of the Sky Demon Palace and a pure-blooded divine beast, Fire Qilin. Even a titled honorable was not qualified to be his mount. However, Ling Xiao had captured him and made him his mount. If the news spread, the sky-burning demon king's reputation would be completely ruined. However, under the threat of death, he could only choose to submit. Now that his life was in Ling Xiao's hands, he didn't dare to resist at all. This time, over 1,000 experts besieged Ling Xiao. In the end, only a small portion of them managed to escape. The majority of them died at Ling Xiao's hands. Although the storage treasures of many experts were destroyed by Ling Xiao, there were still many treasures left behind. Ling Xiao ordered the sky-burning demon emperor to gather the storage treasures and weapons of those experts. It was a great fortune. Just the pure yang pills alone numbered over 300 million. The Ziwei star child alone contributed 60 million pure yang pills, while the others contributed from several 100,000 to over 1 million pure yang pills. Added together, it was a terrifying number. There were thousands of other powerful Dao artifacts and hundreds of bottles of spirit pills. In the time cave, these experts had collected a total of 47 sage medicines, 182 king medicines, and thousands of other spirit medicines. In the Ziwei star child's ring of holding, Ling Xiao even found a quasi-god medicine, pure yang gold lotus. Killing and arson really was a golden belt. This battle alone had made Ling Xiao rich. Of course, although there were a lot of treasures, Ling Xiao didn't really care about them. What he cared about the most were the martial arts of the astral palace in the Ziwei star child's sea of consciousness, especially the myriad star flying god art. The myriad star flying god art was a supreme technique of the astral palace. According to Ling Xiao's speculations, it was a god-class consummate art, although it seemed incomplete. Ling Xiao had seen it in the hands of the other great stars before. This myriad star flying god technique was indeed extremely extraordinary. As the Heaven Devourer cauldron devoured and suppressed the Ziwei star child's sea of consciousness, all of the information was extracted. The myriad star flying god art also fell into Ling Xiao's hands. Ling Xiao also read about the Alioth sword. Apparently, the Astral Emperor had taken it from the myriad coffins mountains, refined it, and given it to the Ziwei star child. The myriad coffins mountains? Don't tell me the fifth brother, Yan Yang Tian, and the others are there as well. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a sharp light. Supreme Azura was at the myriad coffins mountains, and now Yan Yang Tian was there as well. It seemed that he had to make a trip there after leaving the time cave. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Outside the time cave, the Astral Emperor was sitting cross-legged in the void. His eyes suddenly opened, revealing a monstrous killing intent. Ling Xiao, you killed my son. I will tear you to pieces. Furthermore, your parents and relatives in the Crystal Palace will all die. The Astral Emperor's face was twisted, and his body was trembling. The Astral Palace had 5 astral children. The other 4 astral children were one thing, but the Ziwei star child was his son, and the one he valued the most. His talent was unparalleled, and he had entered the Green Cloud ranking at a young age. He had thought that the Ziwei star child would become a paragon after the heavenly selection convention. Who would have thought that he would die at the hands of Ling Xiao? Men, invite old ancestor South Sky, demon sovereign Great Sun, and the Lord of Emperor Tomb Mountain for a chat. The Astral Emperor's eyes were dark as he ordered coldly. Yes. Immediately, a disciple of the Astral Palace left in a hurry. Ling Xiao, this time, I will make sure you die without a burial place. The Astral Emperor's voice was cold, and his eyes seemed to have the scene of stars disappearing, causing the surrounding chaotic mist to explode instantly. Due to the death of the Ziwei star child, the outside world suddenly became turbulent. Ling Xiao, who was in the time cave, did not know about this. However, even if he knew, he would not care. Ling Xiao rode on the fire Qilin. Just as he was about to leave and return to the Moon City, he suddenly felt an extremely familiar aura approaching rapidly. Mu Xian. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he saw a slender young man in a black robe. His black hair was draped over his shoulders, and his eyes were like lightning. His entire body was emitting a mysterious aura of a grave. This young man was the most outstanding genius of the Tomb King city, Mu Xian. Moreover, Ling Xiao saw that Mu Xian's cultivation was stronger than when he was outside the time cave. He had already passed the tribulation of 4 symbols. However, to the people of the Tomb King city, the half-step to Paragon realm was the end of the tribulation of 4 symbols. Unless they could break through the shackles and curses in their bloodline, they could only continue to break through. Ling Xiao, it's really you. Mu Xian's eyes flashed as he said slowly. Why are you here? Chapter 786. I heard you fought Tu Qianxiong and killed the Purple Star Child. You even subdued the sky-burning Demon King as your mount. I didn't expect it to be you. I came here because the situation has changed. The 9th chapter of Destiny has appeared and the successor of the War God Temple has noticed it. Mu Xian looked at Ling Xiao with some surprise, then his expression became incomparably solemn. The successor of the War God Temple has found the 9th chapter. Where is it? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He didn't expect the successor of the War God Temple to be so interested in the 9th chapter. The 9th chapter is in the demon city of the demon tribe. Mu Xian glanced at Ling Xiao and said slowly. Demon tribe? Ling Xiao was a bit surprised as well. He didn't expect the 9th chapter to be in the demon tribe. According to his understanding, the demon tribe might have been corrupted by the extraterrestrial demons, which was why they were fighting against the other 3 tribes. The Moon tribe, Spirit tribe, and Buddha tribe could barely contend against the demon tribe. This showed how powerful the demon tribe was. That's right, it's the demon tribe. This is the result of my investigation. It's a pity that the successor of the war god temple has already received the news and is rushing towards the demon tribe. Mu Xian said. Ling Xiao said, the demon tribe is very powerful with a titled supreme overseeing it. Do you think we can get the 9th chapter with just the two of us? Even the successor of the war god temple doesn't have this ability. Mu Xian said anxiously, I know the demon tribe is very strong, stronger than the other 3 tribes combined. But we still have to try. If the 9th chapter falls into the hands of the successor of the war god temple, then we'll be in trouble. We need to think about this at length. Mu Xian, you and I will return to the Moon City first. If we go to the demon tribe, it's best if we have the help of the other 3 tribes. Ling Xiao said. Mu Xian hesitated, Moon tribe? The other 4 tribes are very xenophobic. If we go to the Moon tribe, they won't help us, right? Don't worry, I'm from the Moon tribe. They should be able to help us. Ling Xiao said with a smile. What? You actually have a relationship with the Moon tribe? Mu Xian looked at Ling Xiao in disbelief. In the past, it wasn't as if no one had tried to make friends with the ancient races in order to obtain their help, but it simply didn't work. Mu Xian had not expected Ling Xiao to be able to do it. Come with me. Ling Xiao smiled and did not explain anything. All right. Mu Xian hesitated for a moment before nodding in agreement. Ling Xiao rode on the fire qilin and soared into the sky, turning into a stream of light as he sped towards the city of the moon. Ling Xiao's primordial spirit entered the celestial stone, and the scene inside stunned him. The King Kong godly ape was already deader than dead. All of its blood essence had been devoured by the green-scaled heaven-devouring python. However, the dazzling golden Yao core had already been taken out by Ling Xiao. The azure qilin heaven-devouring python was currently recuperating within a mountain. It was in a deep slumber, as though it was undergoing some sort of metamorphosis. And longevity grass was actually teaching Lu Jianyi martial arts. Lu Jianyi had the yin-yang saint body and opened all his meridians. With the large amount of resources left behind by Ling Xiao, he had already cultivated to the spirit transformation realm in such a short time. And longevity grass was teaching Lu Jianyi how to cultivate the longevity sword qi. Ling Xiao brat, I didn't expect you to have such a talented disciple. The legendary yin-yang saint body, you're really lucky. Why don't we discuss it and you give this disciple to this old man? This old man will definitely nurture a peerless sword god. Longevity grass had also noticed Ling Xiao and said proudly. Sorry, longevity grass, this is my 4th disciple, Lu Jianyi. Don't even think about it. Ling Xiao smiled. Jianyi greets master. Lu Jianyi's eyes were filled with surprise when he saw Ling Xiao. He bowed respectfully. Not bad, not bad. Jianyi, your progress is really fast. Ling Xiao smiled, very satisfied with Lu Jianyi's cultivation progress. You're so stingy. Such a talented disciple is really a pearl covered in dust. Longevity grass curled his lips. Hey, I almost forgot. More than 1,000 people outside are besieging you, but you're still alive and kicking. It seems that you're running very fast. Longevity grass seemed to have thought of something and looked at Ling Xiao from the corner of his eyes. Running? Why should I run? I've already killed more than 1,000 people outside. I even caught a pure-blooded divine beast fire qilin as my mount. Ling Xiao said lightly. You're just bragging. You caught a pure-blooded divine beast fire qilin? I can even say that my mount is a real dragon. Longevity grass sneered. Ling Xiao was not angry. He said, if you don't believe me, look. Suddenly, a light flashed in his hand, and the scene of the battle appeared in front of Longevity Grass and Lu Jianyi. Longevity Grass and Lu Jianyi were stunned by the scene of Ling Xiao executing the 7 limits divine art of swallowing heaven and destroying earth, killing hundreds of martial arts experts, killing the Ziwei Star Child, and subduing the sky-burning demon emperor. Master, you're so powerful. I want to be as powerful as you in the future. Lu Jianyi looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of admiration. The longevity grass had a strange look in his eyes, especially when he saw Ling Xiao using the 7 limits divine technique of engulfing the heavens and destroying the earth. His eyes flashed with sharpness. Longevity grass curled his lips when he heard Lu Jianyi's words. He said, "That's considered powerful. I've only killed some ants. You should know that I've even killed deities in the past. I'm invincible in all the realms. I'm the #1 person in the world." You're talking about Senior Duguchilbai, right? What does that have to do with you? You're just a grass. Why are you pretending to be powerful? Longevity grass flew into a rage when he heard Ling Xiao's words. Ling brat, you really don't know how to respect your seniors. I know everything that happened 1,000,000 years ago, and I know everything that will happen 1,000,000 years later. I'm omniscient and omnipotent. No one is my match. They all gave me the title of Sword Emperor. Do you understand? The longevity grass said arrogantly. Sword Emperor. I think it's more appropriate to call you Sword Maniac. You're really arrogant when I call you fat. Ling Xiao rolled his eyes and couldn't be bothered to argue with longevity grass. He already knew that longevity grass was an old ruffian like the radish. They were both weirdos. Sigh, why can't you listen to me? Invincibility is really a kind of loneliness. The longevity grass sighed. Since you say you're omniscient, then let me ask you, do you know where the 9th chapter of Destiny is? Ling Xiao glared at him. Destiny's secret law. Why are you looking for it? Of course, I know where it is. Longevity grass's eyes flashed with a strange glint as he slowly said. You really know. Chapter 787. Legend has it that the heavens will secret skill contains the fate of all living beings. If you obtain it, you won't have to enter the cycle of reincarnation or be tainted by karma. If I'm not wrong, it should be the Tomb King city or the Feng Shui family looking for the heavens will secret skill. There was a strange fluctuation in the longevity grass's voice. How do you know? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he stared at longevity grass. Longevity grass smiled faintly and said, back then, I followed Dugu Chilbai and dominated the world. What secrets do I not know in the past 1,000,000 years? Tomb King City and the Feng Shui family are cursed by the heaven's will. They are destined to never break through to the supreme realm. Moreover, they are plagued with misfortunes and difficulties in reproduction. If the Tomb King City and the Feng Shui family want to break the curse, they must obtain the Heaven's Will secret skill. Heaven's Will curse? What is Heaven's Will? Ling Xiao asked slowly. I don't know either. Maybe it's the law of heaven, maybe it's the will of a powerful being, or maybe it's the banishment of a powerful being from the realm of the gods. Longevity Grass said slowly. Banishment of a powerful being from the realm of the gods. This was the first time Ling Xiao heard of such a thing. Longevity Grass nodded and said, I'm just guessing. Since 1,000,000 years ago, almost no one in the world could become a god. The door to the realm of the gods was closed and many peerless geniuses died because of their lifespan. The Tomb King City and the Feng Shui family suddenly appeared in the war god world 1,000,000 years ago. Their identity is extremely mysterious. The curse of the bloodline might be caused by a powerful being from the realm of the gods. For 1,000,000 years, no one could become a god. Do you know the reason behind this? Ling Xiao's eyes shone. 10,000 years ago, he was the most powerful being in the world and had already touched the barrier of the realm of the gods. However, he still couldn't sense the existence of the realm of the gods and become a god. That was why he went to look for the Scarlet Dragon war god's divinity. I don't know. However, based on what happened in the past 1,000,000 years, I think it might be related to the invasion of the sky demons. Longevity Grass said. Is the invasion of the sky demons related to the realm of the gods? Ling Xiao's heart trembled. Is the origin of the sky demons so terrifying that the realm of the gods was so terrifying that they sealed the realm of the gods? If that was the case, then the myriad worlds had been abandoned by the people of the divine realm. That's not something we can know. Let's talk about the 9th chapter instead. As for the Heaven's Will secret law, the demon tribe does have the 9th chapter of Heaven's Will. However, those fellows have all turned into monsters. It will be very difficult for you to obtain the 9th chapter. The longevity grass sighed. That's why I plan to return to the Moon City and ask the chief of the Moon tribe to gather the 3 main tribes to fight the demon tribe together. This is the best opportunity to annihilate the demon tribe. I believe that the 3 tribes won't give up on this opportunity. Ling Xiao said slowly as his eyes lit up. Longevity Grass looked at Ling Xiao with surprise and said, "You actually managed to convince the Moon tribe's chieftain?" This was indeed a solution. However, I can tell you that the 9th chapter of Heaven's Will is in the Demon Saint Palace of the Demon Tribe. That place is heavily guarded, so it will be extremely difficult to steal it. You must be mentally prepared. Demon Saint Palace? Ling Xiao nodded and said. There was a sense of urgency in Ling Xiao's heart. He didn't know why, but he felt that danger was about to befall him. He urgently needed to increase his strength. I've already found the longevity grass. When the time comes, I'll get this old guy to contribute a leaf. Together with the 12th tier golden lotus, it should be enough for me to condense the true dragon body. When I do, I'll be able to kill a supreme being with a single punch. At that time, I'll have more confidence in going to the demon tribe. Ling Xiao thought to himself as a glint of light appeared in his eyes. A few hours later, Ling Xiao and Mu Xian returned to the Moon City. In order to not attract attention, Ling Xiao kept the fire qilin in the heavenly stone. Otherwise, if he rode the fire qilin into the Moon City, it would attract the attention of the entire tribe. Although the experts in the Moon City were still wary of Ling Xiao and Mu Xian, Yu Chongshan had already given them instructions, so they didn't make things difficult for Ling Xiao and quickly let him in. Little brother Ling Xiao, you're back. And this is? Yu Tai smiled as he looked at Ling Xiao. He then looked at Mu Xian with some suspicion. This is my friend, Mu Xian. We have an important matter to discuss with Patriarch Jian. I'll have to trouble Uncle Tai to help us pass the message. Ling Xiao smiled. All right, no problem. Your friend is also a friend of the Moon Tribe. Come with me. Yu Tai agreed readily and brought Ling Xiao and Mu Xian to the Heavenly Palace. In the Heavenly Palace, Ling Xiao and Mu Xian saw Yu Chongshan. His hair was white and his face was hale and hearty. Little friend Ling Xiao, this trip seems to be going well. And this young master is? Yu Chongshan smiled and looked at Mu Xian. Patriarch Yu, this is Mu Xian, my friend. He came this time because he has something to ask of Patriarch Yu. Ling Xiao didn't hide anything and directly told him that Mu Xian wanted to find the 9th chapter of destiny and hoped that the 3 great tribes could send troops to the demon tribe. Ling Xiao knew that with Yu Chongshan's wisdom, he could see the opportunity in this. Patriarch Yu, the successor of the War God Temple, is very strong. He has killed at least 5 supremes. Not to mention, he has many supremes by his side. If they go to the demon tribe to find the 9th chapter of destiny, there will definitely be a conflict with the demon tribe. I heard that the 3 great tribes have always been bullied by the demon tribe. This might be a good opportunity. Mu Xian also spoke very honestly. Although he was eager to obtain the 9th chapter of destiny, he also hoped to gain the support of Yu Chongshan and the other 2 great tribes. This matter is of great importance. I have to discuss it with the other 2 patriarchs. But don't worry, I think they will agree. Yu Chongshan was very decisive and smiled faintly. Then how long will it take for the 3 great tribes to send troops? Mu Xian asked. This old man has to discuss it with them. Then, I will investigate the situation of the demon tribe. If we really send troops, it will take at least half a month to a month. Yu Chongshan said slowly. Half a month to a month? That's too long. I'm afraid that things will change if we delay. Mu Xian said worriedly. Mu Xian, don't worry. It's impossible for the successor of the War God Temple to steal the 9th chapter of destiny from the demon tribe. That's why he must be thinking of a way. When the three great tribes attack the demon tribe, that will be our chance. Ling Xiao comforted. No, it's still too long. Ling Xiao, how about this, you stay in the moon tribe and I will go to the demon tribe to investigate the situation. We can't let the successor of the war god temple succeed. If there's any news, we can contact each other. Mu Xian said. Ling Xiao thought about it and nodded, that's fine too. But you have to be careful and don't act on your own. Chapter 788. Mu Xian left the City of the Moon and headed to the demon tribe to gather information. He wanted to prevent the successor of the war god temple from obtaining the 9th volume of Heavenly Mandate. Yu Chongshan left the moon tribe to meet with the chiefs of the other two tribes to discuss the matter of attacking the demon tribe. The moon goddess, Phoenix Maiden, and Dragon Proud Heaven were all cultivating in the Xianhuang Mother Energy Pool in the City of the Moon. Ling Xiao was preparing to enter seclusion to form the true dragon body. The true dragon body was extremely terrifying. It was formed when the bloodline of a true dragon was condensed to the extreme and fused with the laws of heaven and earth. In the previous life, the supreme true dragon used the true dragon body to sweep through everything before him. He could crush supreme weapons with his fists and fight against supreme god weapons with his bare hands. If Ling Xiao hadn't created the 7 limits divine art and formed the Heaven Devourer cauldron, it would have been very difficult for him to defeat the supreme true dragon. That was why when the supreme true dragon ambushed Ling Xiao in the previous life, Ling Xiao self-detonated and died. The self-detonation of a titled paragon wasn't enough to kill the supreme true dragon. True dragon, I know you're not dead. If I'm not mistaken, you've already refined the Scarlet Dragon War God's godhood and broken through to the God Spirit realm, right? You must still be on the War God continent. I'll come looking for you soon. Ling Xiao said slowly with a sharp glint in his eyes. Ling Xiao prepared to enter seclusion in the Heaven God Stone. The stone flashed and turned into a speck of dust that fell into the secret chamber. With the guards of the Moon tribe outside, no one would dare to barge in. However, Ling Xiao knew that forming the true dragon body would cause a huge commotion. That was why he decided to cultivate in the Heaven God Stone. Longevity grass, why don't you contribute a leaf? Ling Xiao looked at the longevity grass and smiled. What? Longevity grass trembled and fled. He looked at Ling Xiao warily and said, don't even think about it. He only had 9 leaves in total, each one containing the essence of heaven and earth. 9 leaves added together could allow a paragon to live another life. They were extremely precious. Don't worry, I won't take your leaf for free. I'll give you 3 innate soul essences. Ling Xiao smiled as 3 innate soul essences appeared in his hand. He knew that the innate soul essence was a great supplement for spirit herbs. It could increase their divinity and was extremely precious. Moreover, Ling Xiao felt that the longevity grass was not simple. He was still hoping to obtain Dugu Qiubai's inheritance, so he did not want to force him. Innate soul essence. Good stuff. 3 won't do. I need at least 5. The live forever grass's eyes glittered. Alright, 5 it is. Hurry up and contribute a leaf. I don't have much time. I have to go into seclusion immediately. Ling Xiao agreed without hesitation. Seeing Ling Xiao being so straightforward, the longevity grass felt a little regretful. It seemed that its asking price was still too low. Ling Xiao seemed to have a lot of innate soul essences on him. The longevity grass rolled its eyes, wondering if it could use other methods to get some innate spirit essences from Ling Xiao. Wang. The longevity grass received the 5 innate soul essences as if they were priceless treasures. Then, it took a leaf and handed it to Ling Xiao. The leaf of the longevity grass was emerald green and delicate. It was the size of a palm, and there were mysterious patterns carved on it as if it was describing some kind of heavenly law. Ling Xiao could feel that this leaf contained an incomparably vast amount of life essence. It was even more vigorous than the life essence of a supreme being. It was indeed the legendary longevity grass. One could live forever if they consumed it. Ling Xiao sat in the air with his legs crossed. His body was glowing brightly, and his black hair danced in the wind. He was like an immemorial divine beast. Every breath he took shook the heavens and earth. He exuded an extremely hot aura. 3 treasures floated in front of him. The great 12 blood lotus, the demonic pill of the King Kong ape, and the leaf of the longevity grass. Ling Xiao had originally planned to gather the grade 12 blood lotus, grade 12 black lotus, and grade 12 golden lotus before forming the true dragon body. However, it seemed like it was too late now. Moreover, the demonic pill of the King Kong ape and the leaf of the longevity grass were quite effective. Whiz! Dazzling light surrounded Ling Xiao as the King Heaven Devourer cauldron appeared above his head. He had already pulled out 100 million pure yang pills from the cauldron. For the sake of this breakthrough, he had made too many preparations. Roar! A terrifying dragon's roar echoed out, and golden light swirled around Ling Xiao. Golden scales sprouted out of his skin, and he radiated the might of a dragon. Behind Ling Xiao, a golden heavenly dragon appeared. It was incomparably majestic, and pulsed with an aura that seemed unparalleled in the world. A true dragon can see through all illusions. See the truth. Fuse with the spirit of heaven. Gather the magic of heaven. Seek the Tao of tomorrow. Break the path of heaven. The secret magic of the ancestral dragon contained information about the true dragon body in Ling Xiao's mind. After transcending the tribulation, Ling Xiao's true dragon body had reached the Great Circle. Therefore, this was the perfect time to break through. Whoosh! Ling Xiao had long since erased the nascent divinity branding mark on the 12th order blood lotus, and now, it was nothing more than a stream of light that flew into the King Heaven Devourer cauldron. The heaven-devouring secret magic erupted, and the 12th order blood lotus was instantly refined, transforming it into a majestic stream of energy and blood quintessence that flowed into Ling Xiao. The 12th order blood lotus represented the splendor of quintessence blood. The 12th order gold lotus represented the splendor of spirit energy. The 12th order black lotus represented the splendor of the nascent divinity. After assimilating the 12th order blood lotus, Ling Xiao felt as though he had been dropped into a sea of lava, and his blood energy surged with terrifying power. Rumble! Golden godlight erupted from Ling Xiao, and tiny droplets of blood appeared on the surface of his skin. There were so many of them that it was hard to say how many there were, and within each of them was a tiny golden dragon that was absorbing the quintessence blood power of the 12th order blood lotus. Ling Xiao's fleshly body was transforming, and his life force quintessence surged, making him seem ancient and dignified. Roar! The terrifying roar of a dragon echoed out, and Ling Xiao shone with dazzling light as he transformed into a golden true dragon that floated in the air, absorbing the power of the 12th order blood lotus. Ruiyuambul. Lightning flashed, and the void trembled as Ling Xiao transformed into a true dragon. It was as though he had provoked the wrath of heaven and earth, and terrifying lightning bolts began to descend. The golden true dragon in the air went from being 1 meter long to 10 meters long. Then 10 meters to 30 meters. Then 30 meters to 300 meters. The gigantic dragon body began to expand slowly. As the dragon body grew longer and longer, a mysterious power of bloodline began to flow. It was as vast as the sea, and it was extremely terrifying. Chapter 789. The power of the 12th order blood lotus isn't enough. Bring it on. The demon core of the Vajra god ape, the leaf of the live forever grass, and 100 million pure yang pills. Explode! Explode! A look of madness could be seen in his enormous dragon eyes. The demon core of the Vajra god ape was like a small sun, dazzling and dazzling as it flew into the heaven devourer cauldron along with the leaf of the live forever grass. Ruiyuambul. It was like a sun had exploded, with Ling Xiao at the center. Dazzling, multicolored light spread out, causing heaven and earth to tremble and the void to crack. One lightning bolt after another slammed into Ling Xiao, threatening to crush him into dust. However, even as the tribulation lightning filled the sky, Ling Xiao's dragon form began to expand. Before long, he was 30,000 meters long, and still growing. A 30,000-meter dragon form was the body of a heavenly dragon, and a 100,000-meter dragon form was the body of a true dragon. The blood vessels in Ling Xiao's body began to undergo an extreme transformation as if they were being burned by fire. What kind of consummate technique is this guy cultivating? This power is even more terrifying than that of a Tao corroborating paragon. Within the Heaven Devourer's stone, the heaven-scorching demon emperor's eyes were filled with disbelief as he stared at Ling Xiao. The dragon might radiating off of Ling Xiao was so terrifying that even the demon emperor was trembling in fear. Logically speaking, the true dragon bloodline and the Qilin bloodline were both divine beast bloodlines, so the sky-scorching demon emperor should not have such a feeling. However, he did feel fear from the depths of his bloodline from Ling Xiao. Is the bloodline of the dragonfolk transforming into a consummate battle body? This kind of martial art is really earth-shattering. The longevity grass's eyes revealed a trace of emotion as he spoke slowly. Thankfully, Ling Xiao was cultivating in the Heaven Devourer's stone. If he were in the Cave of Time, his terrifying aura would have shocked all of the living beings in the cave. Rui Yuanbo. Dragon might filled the air, and the roar of a dragon shook the dome of heaven. Thanks to the power of his three precious treasures, Ling Xiao's aura grew more and more terrifying. 3 days later, his dragon body had already evolved to 90,000 feet. But then, the speed became much slower. It seemed to be increasing bit by bit. Ling Xiao knew that in his previous life, the supreme true dragon had also been lucky enough to obtain the body of a true dragon by chance and luck. However, he did not expect it to be so difficult. 908,000 zhang. 990,000 zhang. After another 3 days, the gigantic dragon body in the god's stone had already grown to 99,000 zhang tall. Its entire body was shining with golden light. It was incomparably vast and exuded an aura that made people's hearts palpitate. However, the growth of the dragon's body seemed to have reached an extreme, and it was almost about to stop. Ling Xiao could feel that something was amiss. He had been too careless. By now, the powers of the three utmost treasures were almost depleted. In order to condense the true dragon physique, even Ling Xiao's own life essence began to burn. At this rate, even if Ling Xiao managed to condense a true dragon body, he would still die from the loss of his life essence. Brat, I've suffered a huge loss this time. Remember this, you owe me. The longevity grass sighed softly. It had also sensed that Ling Xiao's body was in a terrible state. It was a critical moment. Whoosh! 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 3 green medicinal pearls shot out of the longevity grass, dazzling to the eye. They looked like 3 stars, pulsing with boundless life force quintessence as they flew into the King Heaven Devourer cauldron. These were the god elixirs of the longevity grass, and were essentially its essence power. They were more than 10 times as effective as the leaves he had given it. With the 3 drops of god elixir, Ling Xiao's body began to shine with dazzling light, and his body began to grow. Without the 3 drops of god elixir, the longevity grass's aura began to wither. After all, even the longevity grass only had 9 drops of god elixir. Ruyuumbo. Lightning crackled, and heaven and earth trembled as a golden dragon appeared, radiating an ancient and majestic aura that could shake the hearts of anyone who saw it. Bathed in lightning, the dragon grew until it was 99,999 meters tall. He only needed the last piece of paper to completely condense the true dragon body. Ling Xiao felt that his primordial spirit seemed to have come to an inexplicable chaotic void. Extremely terrifying golden light exploded, and a 1,000,000 feet long 7-colored divine dragon appeared in the chaos. Suddenly, mysterious light surged, and the world was opened up, and living beings were born. His heart began to beat as well. Eventually, the 7-colored blood pearl in his heart began to emit 7-colored mist that flowed into Ling Xiao. Rui Yuanbo. A 30-million-meter-long dragon was fully formed. Roar! Ling Xiao let out a draconic roar that shook heaven and earth, causing the void in the area to shatter, and sending out streams of primal chaos energy. A 30-million-meter-long golden dragon filled the air, its scales shining with dazzling golden light. It was filled with magical laws of heaven and earth, and even the slightest tremor could cause heaven and earth to shatter. This was the true body of a true dragon. There was a hint of joy in Ling Xiao's heart. He flew unhindered in the small world within the celestial stone. His dragon's might was unparalleled. He practically flew through the entire small world in an instant. Buzz! With a flash, Ling Xiao turned into a handsome young man in a snow-white robe. However, at this moment, there was a hint of majesty and vicissitudes in his delicate appearance. His eyes were bright and mysterious, and he had a kind of spirit that looked down on the world. He was like an emperor of the heavens, and no one dared to look at him directly. Even the sky-scorching beast emperor's heart skipped a beat when he saw Ling Xiao. If he still had the intention to compete with Ling Xiao before, he had completely given up now. He felt that if Ling Xiao wanted to kill him now, it would be a piece of cake for him. Whoosh! Ling Xiao descended from the 9 heavens and glanced at the sky-scorching beast emperor. The sky-scorching beast emperor felt a chill in his heart, and subconsciously lowered his head. Why did you help me just then? If I were to die, wouldn't you be free? Ling Xiao glanced at the longevity grass and asked passionately. Ling Xiao did not expect the longevity grass to help him, even at the cost of its natal divine liquid. I'm not helping you, I'm helping myself. If you were to die, wouldn't I be trapped in this minor world forever? Moreover, you've cultivated the longevity sword Qi, so you're Dugu Qiubai's disciple. Dugu Qiubai is my brother, so isn't it my duty to save a junior disciple? The longevity grass chuckled. I still have 5 connate soul essences. I'll give them all to you. I hope you can recover soon. Ling Xiao smiled, knowing that the longevity grass was being stubborn. With a flash of light in his hand, 5 more connate soul essences appeared. Ha ha ha, at least you have a conscience. I'm going to cultivate in seclusion, so don't disturb me. The longevity grass's eyes lit up. He grabbed the connate soul essences and turned to leave. Chapter 790. Wait. I still have something to ask you. Ling Xiao stopped the longevity grass and asked, the God's stone contains a small world. It is a divine weapon and its aura is completely concealed. How did you find out where the God's stone is? Ling Xiao was puzzled. He did not understand why the green Qilin heaven-devouring python did not find the God's stone in the valley, but the longevity grass did. What's so strange about that? I am invincible in this world and have cultivated to the heart of the sword. Although the God's stone is a divine weapon and its aura is completely concealed, it is still a live target in my heart. But don't worry, in this world, unless you are a titled supreme, as long as you are careful, no supreme will be able to find out about the God's stone. The longevity grass said proudly. You're just bragging. Ling Xiao glared at him, but he was relieved. As long as a supreme could not find out about it, the God's stone would be of great use in this trip to the demon tribe. As for the longevity grass, Ling Xiao was not surprised. After all, it was a supreme divine medicine from the same era as Dugu Qiubai. It was not strange for it to have some tricks up its sleeves. Ling Xiao left the God's stone. He had spent a total of 6 days in seclusion. After leaving the God's stone, Yu Chongshan had returned from the other 2 tribes with a piece of good news. The Spirit tribe and Buddha tribe have agreed to join forces to attack the demon tribe. They will depart in 3 days. This time, they are preparing to attack the demon tribe. Therefore, the 3 tribes will only send out Supreme Realm and above experts. Yu Chongshan said to Ling Xiao. How many Supreme Realm experts are there in the 3 tribes? What about the demon tribe? This was the question that Ling Xiao was most concerned about. The Moon tribe has a total of 6 Supreme Realm experts. This time, they will leave behind 1 Supreme Realm expert and send out 5 Supreme Realm experts. The Spirit tribe and Buddha tribe each have 7 Supreme Realm experts. This time, they will send out 5 Supreme Realm experts each. Therefore, there will be a total of 15 Supreme Realm experts. As for the demon tribe. Yu Chongshan's eyes were solemn as he said slowly, on the surface, the demon tribe only has 12 Supreme Realm experts. However, according to our estimates, there are at least 20 Supreme Realm experts. Yu Chongshan's words made Ling Zhao's eyes widen. The number of Supreme Being experts in the 4 great tribes was definitely a terrifying number, especially for the demon tribe. In the War God continent, most of the Holy Lands didn't have so many Supremes. Perhaps only the legendary War God Temple had so many Supremes. One could imagine that this crusade against the demon tribe would definitely be a great battle between Supremes. However, there was no trace of fear in Ling Zhao's eyes. Instead, they were filled with a strong desire to fight. After condensing the true dragon body, his physical body had become extremely terrifying. At this moment, it was definitely not a problem for him to take on a supreme weapon with his bare hands. He might not be a match for titled Supremes yet, but it would not be difficult for him to kill ordinary Supremes. Moreover, Ling Zhao was also very curious about the tribe of demons. Speaking of which, the tribe of demons should have inherited the legacy of the old goat's father, the demon sage. But why was it invaded by the extraterrestrial demons? Ling Zhao was very puzzled about this and wanted to find out more. 3 days passed quickly. In the sky above the city of the moon, there were 4 other elders with silver hair flying in the wind. They were dressed in silver robes and looked very dignified. They only glanced at Ling Zhao for a moment before closing their eyes. Let's go. Yu Chongshan's eyes revealed a trace of sharpness as he tore open the void and entered with Ling Zhao. The other 4 great elders also followed in. Ling Zhao, the 3 great tribes have already discussed this. This time, we will do our best to delay the demon venerables of the demon tribe. Your mission is to destroy the city of demons, especially the demon sage palace. Yu Chongshan slowly said. Demon sage palace? The 9th chapter of Destiny is there. I will do my best. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of sharpness as he nodded. The 3 great tribes suspected that the demon sage palace was the source of the demon tribe's power. If they destroyed the demon sage palace, the demon tribe's vitality would be greatly damaged. The 3 great tribes didn't have the extravagant hope of completely wiping out the demon tribe this time. They didn't have the ability to do so. The best result was that the demon tribe wouldn't dare to invade the 3 great tribes again. Yu Chongshan and the other 4 elders brought Ling Zhao through the turbulence of the void. Their speed was extremely fast and soon, they crossed over 1,000,000 miles and arrived near the demon tribe. Ling Zhao, be careful. Yu Chongshan warned. He reached out his hand and gently tore open space, placing Ling Zhao on the outskirts of the monster tribe. Whoosh! Ling Zhao's body turned into a ray of light as he appeared on top of a towering mountain peak. Behind him was the vast desolate mountain range, and in the huge valley before him, a majestic black city rose from the ground, emitting an ancient and boundless aura. It was like a huge primordial ferocious beast was hibernating within. The city of demons. Ling Zhao also felt an extremely pure demonic aura from the city of demons, causing the wordless heavenly book to become excited. It really is the aura of the demon sage. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he muttered to himself. The city of demons in the distance was like a huge immemorial mountain, emitting a majestic demonic aura. Within the demonic aura, there was also a hint of black demonic aura. Given how heavily guarded the demon city was, it would be exceedingly difficult to break in. Ling Zhao activated the communication treasure that Mu Xian gave him. Ling Zhao, I've been targeted by a demon sovereign in the city of demons. Don't worry about me, leave first. Mu Xian's incomparably anxious voice sounded from the communication treasure. Moreover, it seemed that he had suffered heavy injuries. Where are you? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed sharply as he calmly asked. The city of demons, 30,000 miles north of the demon tribe. Don't worry about me, leave quickly. The demon sovereign in the city of demons is too terrifying. If I'm unlucky enough to die, I hope you can bring the 9th chapter of Destiny to my great-grandfather, Mu Tianji. Thank you. Mu Xian's voice contained a trace of decisiveness as he instantly cut off the communication treasure. 30,000 miles north of the City of Demons? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he instantly used a secret teleportation technique and sped towards the direction that Mu Xian had mentioned. After condensing the true dragon body, Ling Zhao's physical body was able to withstand the invasion of the void turbulence. Moreover, his primordial spirit was strong enough to tear apart the void in a small area and use the greater teleportation technique. Therefore, a distance of 30,000 miles would have taken Ling Zhao a few hours in the past. But now, the time needed was more than 100 times shorter. In the depths of the barbaric mountain range. Rumble. Mu Xian's figure flew back dozens of feet and smashed heavily into the mountain wall in the distance. Instantly, the mountain peak trembled and suddenly exploded. Huge rocks weighing millions of pounds were sent flying. Mu Xian suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood and his face became incomparably pale. Outsider, why don't you run? Why aren't you running? A mere half-step supreme being with the tribulation of 4 symbols has the battle strength of a supreme being. It seems that you're also a peerless genius in the outside world. What I like the most is to suck the blood of you outsiders dry. Chapter 791. The young man with a demonic face was extremely slender. He stood in the air with a mysterious and powerful ripple around him. There were 2 black bat wings on his back. Every time they flapped, it seemed like a hurricane would sweep through the world. Heaven Bat Demon Venerable, do you really think you can kill me? Even if I die, I'll drag you down with me. Mu Xian wiped the trace of blood from the corner of his mouth. There was a hint of madness in his eyes. Rumble. Mu Xian's body shone brightly. A black deathly aura filled the air. A peerless emperor's tomb appeared behind him, exuding a fluctuation that could devour everything. Come on. If you want to die, let's die together. Mu Xian's eyes were filled with coldness. He suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood essence, and his aura instantly became extremely weak. He punched out, and the Supreme Emperor's tomb exuded a powerful fluctuation, pressing down on Heaven Bat Demon Venerable. The Heaven Emperor's tomb fist of the Tomb Monarch City. It's a pity that your cultivation isn't up to par. The Heavenly Bat Demon Venerable's eyes revealed a hint of surprise. He sneered and immediately sent a palm strike over. It was as if the entire world had fallen into darkness. The palm strike contained the purest dark qi. It instantly hit the peerless emperor's tomb. The Heaven Bat Demon Venerable's cultivation suddenly erupted. Rumble. The peerless emperor's tomb exploded. The Heaven Bat Demon Venerable's palm strike covered Mu Xian. 6th level Supreme Realm. So you've been hiding your cultivation. Ha ha ha. Looks like I didn't lose in vain. Mu Xian's body shook and a pale smile appeared on his face. If it was an expert in the first 3 levels of the Supreme Realm, he might be able to contend with him. However, the 6th level Supreme Realm was 6 levels higher than him. It was impossible for him to contend with him now. Mu Xian's eyes revealed a trace of determination. A terrifying aura surged around him and he was ready to use a forbidden technique to perish together with his opponent. Crack! Suddenly, heaven and earth split open. A young man in a robe whiter than snow stepped out. He was surrounded by a vast dragon's aura. He threw a punch at the Heaven Bat Demon Venerable. Roar! Terrifying dragon roars filled the air as a total of 36 golden true dragons soared through the air. They intertwined with each other as if forming an extremely terrifying celestial true dragon formation that contained a power that could crush everything. What? Heaven Bat Demon Venerable's expression changed as he felt the power that made his heart palpitate. Without a second thought, his figure flashed as he tried to escape. However, this punch was incomparably mighty. It actually sealed the power of the surrounding void, making it impossible for Heaven Bat Demon Venerable to dodge. He could only take it head-on. Bang! The Heavenly Bat Demon Venerable unleashed all of his cultivation. His eyes were extremely cold as he slapped out with his palm. When the fist and palm collided, a terrifying force exploded. The 36 true dragons were like 36 unparalleled punches that blasted into Heaven Bat Demon Venerable's body, causing his arm to explode into smithereens. Like a meteor, he smashed heavily into a mountain in the distance. Crack! The mountains exploded in an instant, turning into dust. With Heavenly Bat Demon Venerable as the center, the ground within a radius of several hundred miles caved in. Ling Xiao. Mu Xian's eyes were filled with surprise and joy. He never thought that Ling Xiao would come to save him. What was even more unexpected was that Ling Xiao's current combat strength was so terrifying that he could severely injure Heaven Bat Demon Venerable, who was at the 6th level of the Supreme Realm, with just one punch. Ling Xiao stood in the void as golden clouds swirled around him. His black hair fluttered in the wind, and his gaze was calm and indifferent. The punch just now was the power of the 1,000 dragons slaughtering God's skill. After condensing the true dragon body, Ling Xiao's 1,000 dragons slaughtering God's skill had improved by leaps and bounds. He had condensed 36 true dragons in one go. The 36 true dragons were like the power of 36 supremes. It was extremely terrifying. Although Heaven Bat Demon Venerable was at the 6th level of the Supreme Realm, he was still defeated by Ling Xiao with just one punch. Before entering the Time Cave, Ling Xiao's true combat strength was only able to kill 1st level or 2nd level Supremes. Moreover, he had to use all of his means to do so. However, after entering the Time Cave, not only did he survive the Earth Tribulation and obtain the inheritance of the Divine Dragon bloodline, he even condensed the true dragon body in one go. In the 9 levels of the Supreme Realm, every 3 levels was a threshold. The 4th level of the Supreme Realm was much stronger than the 3rd level of the Supreme Realm, and the 7th level of the Supreme Realm was much stronger than the 6th level of the Supreme Realm. Ling Xiao estimated his current combat strength. He should be able to defeat those below the 6th level of the Supreme Realm. He should be able to fight to a draw with those at the peak of the 7th to 9th level of the Supreme Realm. Who are you? How can a half-step Supreme Realm cultivator who has only survived the Earth Tribulation possess such powerful strength? Heaven Bat Demon Venerable rushed up from the ground. His hair was disheveled, and he was in an extremely sorry state. His eyes were filled with disbelief, and his expression was extremely ugly. He was a 6th level Supreme Realm cultivator, but he was defeated by Ling Xiao with just one punch. If news of this were to spread, it would be a disgrace. However, Ling Xiao's punch was too terrifying, especially the true dragon bloodline that was emitted from it. It made him feel a sense of dread in the depths of his heart. The dragon bloodline naturally suppressed the other demon clans, unless it was a divine beast bloodline of the same level as the dragon clan. Heaven Bat Demon Venerable's original form was a vampire bat. Although it was an Archean variant, it was far inferior to the dragon bloodline. I am Ling Xiao. Are you going to surrender, or are you waiting for me to make a move? Ling Xiao looked at Heaven Bat Demon Venerable indifferently and said. Heaven Bat Demon Venerable's face instantly darkened. Arrogant. He was too arrogant. A mere half-step Supreme Realm cultivator who had survived the Earth Tribulation actually dared to tell a 9th level Supreme Realm cultivator to surrender. It made him feel like he was in a dream. 9 Ultimates Genius, this is definitely the talent of a 9 Ultimates Genius. I didn't expect the gap between me and him to be so huge. Mu Xian's face revealed a trace of a bitter smile. Those below the Supreme Being Realm were all ants. This was because Supreme Being Realm cultivators had merged with the laws of heaven and earth. Their words were law, and every move of theirs contained the immense might of a Supreme Being, far surpassing that of an emperor or even a half-step Supreme Realm cultivator. However, those below the Supreme Being Realm who could go against the flow and kill Supreme Beings had appeared before in ancient times. They were divided into 1 Ultimates Geniuses to 9 Ultimates Geniuses. If a half-step Supreme Realm cultivator who had survived the tribulation of 4 symbols could kill a first-level Supreme Realm cultivator, crossing a small realm, he would be considered a 1 Ultimates Genius. Mu Xian estimated that with Ling Xiao's cultivation, he could only cross 3 small realms and defeat a 3rd-level Supreme Realm cultivator. Therefore, he should be considered a three ultimates genius. However, Ling Xiao had only survived the Earth tribulation. If he could defeat a 6th-level Supreme Realm cultivator like Heaven Bat Demon Venerable, he would cross 9 small realms and be considered a 9 ultimates genius. Chapter 792. Legend had it that all 9 ultimates geniuses were the strongest in their era and were destined to break through to the divine realm. Just like the sword demon Dugu Qiubai from hundreds of thousands of years ago. Legend had it that when he was at the half-step Supreme Realm during the Calamity of 4 Symbols, he had killed a LV9 Supreme Realm expert with his sword and was invincible throughout the universe. However, there were too few 9 ultimates geniuses. It was said that for millions of years, Dugu Qiubai was the only 9 ultimates genius. Even the strongest man 10,000 years ago, Sky-Devouring Supreme, was only a 7 ultimates genius. Ling Xiao, don't be arrogant. I didn't expect you to reach the 9 ultimates realm. I believe that the martial arts holy lands in the outside world will be interested in you and will come to kill you at all costs. You're dead meat. Heaven Bat Demon Venerable was extremely cunning. He knew that he was no match for Ling Xiao, so he had already thought of escaping. He looked at Ling Xiao with a sneer and instantly tore through the void to escape. Trying to escape? You'd better stay. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and threw out a simple punch. Crack. Suddenly, heaven and earth shook and the void shattered. A terrifying void storm spread out and forced Heaven Bat Demon Venerable out of the void. Ling Xiao, do you really think I'm afraid of you? At most, you and I will die together. Heaven Bat Demon Venerable's eyes revealed a hint of madness. Moreover, there was an extremely weak heavenly demon aura spreading out from his body. Heaven Bat Demon Venerable, take my punch. If you can take it, I'll spare your life. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he said calmly. One punch? You've underestimated me. Heaven Bat Demon Venerable's eyes revealed a glimmer of hope. He knew that Ling Xiao's combat strength was extremely terrifying. Since he couldn't escape, he would only die if he stayed. Therefore, he hoped that he could take Ling Xiao's punch. 1,000 Dragons God-Slaying Skill, Dian Fist. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed and he threw out a punch. Roar! 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 Terrifying dragon roars sounded in the sky. Ling Xiao's fist radiance was dazzling, like a small sun. 49 golden true dragons came across the sky, forming the Dian formation and pressing down on the Heaven Bat Demon Venerable. 49 true dragons. This was also the strongest punch that Ling Xiao had been able to condense so far. This punch was earth-shattering, and it emitted an invincible aura that could crush everything. Heavenly Bat Blood Sea, 10,000 bats destroy the world, kill. 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 The Heavenly Bat Demon Venerable also felt the threat of death and roared without hesitation. Boom. Crimson light surged around his body, and a huge sea of blood spread out, covering the entire world with a rumble. The sea of blood was extremely viscous, and in an instant, tens of thousands of blood-red giant bats rushed out. Each bat was hundreds of meters in size. They covered the sky and the earth and exuded an extremely ferocious aura. It was as if they wanted to devour all 49 true dragons. Crack! The golden fist illuminated the many heavens, and the void shattered. A terrifying spatial tempest swept out, and the tens of thousands of blood-red bats only lasted for a moment before they were reduced to dust by Ling Xiao's fist. Roar! The 49 true dragons shot forward with incredible speed, and the Heavenly Bat Demon Venerable's eyes were filled with disbelief as his body exploded. His incomparably sturdy paragon body was reduced to a mist of blood by Ling Xiao's fist. Drops of blood fell to the ground, and the plants and vegetation began to grow madly, as if they had just encountered a good rain. The paragon body contained boundless life force quintessence, and to the plants and vegetation, it was like a good rain. I won't let you get away with this, Ling Xiao. Just you wait. A blood-red bat floated up into the air, the nascent divinity of the Heavenly Bat Demon Venerable. Glaring venomously at Ling Xiao, he turned to flee. Whiz! The heavenly heaven devourer cauldron appeared, unleashing a powerful devouring power that suppressed the nascent divinity of the heavenly bat demon venerable. Ling Xiao had captured the demon venerable in the hopes of uncovering the secrets of the demon tribe. I never would have guessed that your battle prowess would be this terrifying, Ling Xiao. I'm afraid not even the successor of the war god Hall is a match for you. Mu Xian was also shocked by Ling Xiao's punch. He smiled bitterly as he looked at Ling Xiao. However, he immediately became excited. If Ling Xiao's battle prowess was this strong, then their chances of getting the 9th volume of Heavenly Fate were very high. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and began to search the demon venerable's nascent divinity. However, Ling Xiao's brow furrowed as he realized that there was some sort of immense power within Demon Paragon Heaven Bat's nascent divinity. As soon as his nascent divinity was suppressed by the King Heaven Devourer Cauldron, his memories were wiped clean, as if to prevent him from leaking any information. Ling Xiao relayed the information to Mu Xian. What? You can't get any useful information from the Demon Venerable's nascent divinity? Looks like this demon tribe has hidden themselves very well. They must have a huge secret. Mu Xian exclaimed in shock. Ling Xiao asked. Did you get any useful information in the past few days? Did the successor of the war god Hall show up? Mu Xian said solemnly. The demon city is heavily guarded, and there are paragons there. The auras of outsiders are too obvious. It's almost impossible to sneak in. For the past few days, I've been scouting the outskirts of Demon City. The successor of the War God Temple has already appeared. It seems like he even sent out experts, trying to use secret treasures to conceal their auras and sneak into Demon City. However, they were all discovered. Those experts died extremely miserably, directly eaten alive. Where is the successor of the War God Hall? Ling Xiao asked. I'm not sure, Mu Xian said. But he should be somewhere near the Demon City, and is trying to get in. I heard that the successor of the War God Hall is trying to get in touch with some of the top experts in the demon tribe. Ryu Umble. It was at this point that an incomparably powerful aura appeared in the sky. Dozens of figures with terrifying auras appeared in the air above the demon tribe, as if they were provoking them. Soon, a dozen or so figures emerged from the demon tribe, all of them paragons. Without any hesitation, they tore through the void and entered chaotic space. Godlight flared as a terrifying battle broke out. Dark clouds roiled in the sky, and the weather changed dramatically. Dozens of paragons were fighting, and even though it was happening in the middle of chaotic space, the Cavern of Time was still sending out powerful magical signs. The three great demon tribes are fighting the demon tribe. There's no time to lose. The demon city is empty. Let's go. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he and Mu Xian tore through the void and headed toward the demon city. Chapter 793. The city of demons was vast and majestic. Because the supreme being experts of the three tribes had joined forces to attack the city of demons was shrouded in a layer of black light that emitted a mysterious and powerful fluctuation. This was the power of a formation that enveloped the entire city of demons. It was as if someone was trying to sneak into the city. Ling Xiao and Mu Xian hid in the heavenly god's stone and arrived outside the city of demons. They turned into a speck of dust and observed the situation. It's really heavily guarded. The formation outside the city of demons is definitely the power of an ancient divine formation. It'll be difficult to break through it. Now, let's see what the successor of the War God Temple has to do. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he slowly said. The successor of the War God Temple. If he gets there first, he'll probably be the first to obtain the 9th piece of heavenly mandate. Mu Xian said anxiously. Don't worry, someone's already here. Ling Xiao said faintly as his eyes flashed. Whoosh! A group of powerful figures flew over from the mountain range in the distance. The leader was a young man in golden armor. He was tall and handsome, his black hair fluttering in the wind and his eyes were shining brightly. This young man was naturally the successor of the War God Temple. He stood in the void, looking extraordinarily handsome. His entire body exuded an invincible aura that seemed to look down on the world. Beside him, Ling Xiao saw Murong Xiantian and Duan Wuji standing on his left and right. In addition, there was another person who surprised Ling Xiao. It was Zhu Biao, whom he had seen in the Heaven's Pride Tower. Zhu Biao was still holding a roasted lamb leg and eating it as if there was no one around. He didn't care about the gazes of the people around him. Behind the successor of the war god temple, there were 4 old men in silver robes. Although they were only half-step supreme beings, the aura they exuded was extremely powerful. Apart from them, there was also a group of geniuses with imposing appearances and powerful auras. Their faces were filled with confidence and they were all half-step supreme beings. This group of people was led by the successor of the war god temple. They were extremely powerful. Whoosh! Apart from the successor of the war god hall, Buddhist child Kasayapa also arrived in the air. Behind him were several old monks from the Greater Thunderclap Temple. They were surrounded by Buddhist light and emitted powerful ripples. Maha Kasayapa wore a white monk's robe and straw sandals. His eyes were pure and limpid while his entire body emanated a wave of Buddhist energy that was as vast as the ocean, making others feel the urge to worship him. However, Ling Xiao could still sense that there were still a few extremely powerful but obscure auras hiding in the surroundings of Demon City, not revealing themselves. Clearly, they were planning to reap the spoils of war. Halt! This is the city of demons. Do you outsiders want to court death? Get out of here! A middle-aged man clad in black robes soared into the air from the city of demons. He looked extraordinarily heroic and had a cold expression on his face. His eyes were filled with an icy sharpness. He stared fixedly at the air of the war god Hall and Arhat Kasayapa. Clearly, he knew that these two posed the greatest threat. Demon City's Black Hawk Demon Venerable. I've seen him before. His strength isn't any weaker than the Heavenly Bat Demon Venerable. Mu Xian glanced at the black-robed middle-aged man and said slowly. Ling Xiao nodded his head. This Black Hawk Demon Venerable was also at the 6th level of the Venerable Realm. Evidently, he was the Venerable that had stayed behind to guard the Demon City. Ling Xiao wondered if there were any other Venerable Realm experts in the Demon City. Kasayapa, the battle between the 3 major tribes and the Demon Tribe can end at any time. Time is of the essence. Let's attack together and break this ancient god seal first. After we break through Demon City, we'll use our own methods. The successor of the war god Hall glanced indifferently at Kasayapa and said. Sure. Kasayapa nodded slightly as a sharp glint flashed in his clear eyes. Ants like you want to break through my Demon City's great array? You're dreaming. The Black Hawk Demon Venerable coldly glared at the successor of the war god Hall and Kasayapa. Rumble. The successor of the war god Hall didn't even pay attention to him. Instead, a resplendent light spread out from his hand. It was an ancient scroll. After it slowly unfurled, several mysterious runes spread out, emitting a terrifying aura. It was majestic and mysterious, as if it wanted to destroy everything. That's a divine decree. In order to break through Demon City's array, the successor of the war god Hall has really put in a lot of effort. Mu Xian's eyes widened as he sighed softly. The scroll in the hands of the successor of the war god Hall was a legendary divine decree personally written by a divine spirit expert. It contained the will and power of a divine spirit expert and was extremely powerful. Although Demon City's array was also an ancient god array, with this divine decree, the possibility of breaking through the array was greatly increased. Wang! The divine decree floated towards Demon City. Numerous ancient runes shone brightly, blazing with incomparable heat. Divine chains of order fell down, containing the power to pierce through everything, pressing down on Demon City. Divine decree. City barrier array. Activate at full power. The Black Hawk Sovereign's face turned a little ugly. Clearly, he was extremely fearful of the god's decrees. He snorted coldly. Whoosh! At this moment, Buddha Kasyapa also made his move. Both his palms were as white as jade. 9 resplendent pearls rose into the air, emitting a powerful and mysterious fluctuation. It was as if the power of the 9 heavens was descending towards Demon City. 9 sea calming pearls. This Buddha Kasyapa's arms are really big. Ling Xiao also sighed softly. The sea calming pearls were ancient god artifacts. It was said that there were a total of 24 sea calming pearls, and they were incomparably powerful god artifacts. Ling Xiao could see that the 9 sea calming pearls in the hands of Buddha Kasyapa were all genuine. Although they were a little damaged, the power of god artifacts was still immeasurable. Rumble. Under the suppression of the divine decree and the 9 sea calming pearls, the city barrier array of Demon City began to tremble violently. The light was dazzling, and ripples spread out. In the end, the city barrier array could not withstand the power of these 2 supreme treasures and exploded with a loud bang. It was like a small sun had exploded. The resplendent light illuminated the sky, incomparably dazzling. Even the Black Hawk Sovereign, who was presiding over the city barrier array, turned pale and spat out a mouthful of blood. The city barrier array of Demon City is broken. Let's go. The eyes of the successor of the war god temple flashed. The moment the array was broken, he turned into a stream of light and rushed into Demon City with the people behind him. Buddha Kasyapa was not to be outdone. He rushed into Demon City almost at the same time as the successor of the war god temple. Chapter 794. Whoosh. Ling Xiao and Mu Xian, who were hiding in the celestial stone, also turned into a ray of light and entered the city. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The successor of the war god temple and Arhat Kasyapa, as well as many experts hiding in the dark, couldn't hold themselves back any longer and rushed toward Demon City. Strange, why are there so many experts? Even Buddhist Kasyapa is here. Logically speaking, only the successor of the war god temple should know about the 9th chapter of Heavenly Mandate. What do these people want? Mu Xian's eyes were filled with confusion. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he slowly said, I'm afraid they aren't after the 9th chapter of Heavenly Mandate. They are after the treasures in the city that we don't know about. Ling Xiao was also a little surprised. The strength of the city was unparalleled, even stronger than the majority of the sacred grounds of the war god continent. If it wasn't for the 3 tribes attacking the city today, the number of people here would have been countless. For them to disregard their lives and covet the city, just what kind of treasure could make them so tempted? Moreover, Ling Xiao discovered that everyone's goal was the same, the Demon Saint Palace at the center of the city. The city was vast and at the very center was a gigantic statue of a demon saint. It was an old man with white hair and beard. His figure was incomparably tall and sturdy. Blood energy filled the sky as he looked at the sky with a domineering aura. Ling Xiao's eyes slightly moved. This was the statue he saw in the holy ground, the demon saint. Behind the demonic saint statue, there was a black demonic saint palace. It looked majestic, exuding an ancient and mysterious aura. Rumble. An incomparably terrifying aura burst out. In an instant, more than a dozen young geniuses were blasted apart by the punch, turning into a mist of blood. Above the Demon Saint Palace, 3 incomparably powerful figures rose up. Their eyes were cold and filled with a monstrous baleful aura. Ants like you dare to touch my city of demons? You're courting death. A cold voice exploded in the sky above the city. Ling Xiao could see that the one on the left was the Black Eagle Sovereign, and the one on the right was the Golden Ape Sovereign. His cultivation was also at the 6th level of the Venerable Realm. In the middle was a boy in blood-red clothes. His hair was tied up in 2 braids. He looked very strange and his eyes were filled with coldness. It's the Blood Snake Sovereign. I didn't expect him to stay. Mu Xian exclaimed with a trace of shock in his eyes. There were 4 city lords in the city. The Demon City had 3 titled sovereigns. Only the Blood Snake Sovereign, whose cultivation was at the 9th level of the Venerable Realm, was extremely terrifying. Even with the help of the successor of the war god Hall and Arhat Kasayapa, they didn't seem to have much of a chance of winning against a 9th-level venerable and 2 6th-level venerables. But the sovereign, Kasayapa. Otherwise, you. Or. The sovereign stared at the blood snake sovereign and said slowly. That's right. Benefactors, as long as you hand over the sovereign's sovereign and the sovereign's blood, you can live. Otherwise, you'll die. Kasayapa said calmly. Ha ha ha. What an arrogant brat. You're just a half-step sovereign. Do you think you're the legendary 9 extinction prodigy? You want to kill me? Let's see if you have the ability. The blood snake demon lord laughed in extreme anger. He immediately pounced toward the successor of the war god temple and Arhat Kasayapa. Brother Kasayapa, the blood snake sovereign is mine. The black eagle sovereign and the golden ape sovereign are yours. Let's see who finishes the battle first. The successor of the war god Hall had a sharp glint in his eyes as he charged towards the blood snake demon venerable. Then I'll take advantage of you. Kasayapa smiled faintly. His body shone with Buddhist light as he slapped his palm across the sky. The power of his palm spread and enveloped the black eagle sovereign and the golden snake sovereign. Rumble. A god decree appeared in the hand of the heir of the combat god temple. It instantly transformed into a stream of light that enveloped the blood snake venerable. Forbidden god domain. Shouted the successor of the war god Hall. His eyes flashed and his chi surged. It was as if there was a chaotic chi around him. He threw a punch at the venerable blood snake. The god's decree seemed to have turned into a forbidden land, isolating the laws of the world and imprisoning divine powers and supernatural abilities. In this domain, only the power of the body was preserved. What? Bastard! Even if you can only use your physical strength, you'll still die. The blood snake sovereign's expression turned ugly. He didn't expect the god's decree to be so powerful. It formed a forbidden god domain and could only use his physical strength. This way, the blood snake sovereign's strength was weakened by more than 90%. However, the blood snake sovereign's original form was an ancient ferocious beast, the sun-devouring snake. His physical strength was unparalleled. He thought he was extremely powerful and wasn't weaker than a real divine beast. The forbidden god domain stimulated his ferocious nature and made him charge towards the sovereign. Rumble. The blood snake sovereign threw a punch. The terrifying fist aura seemed to condense into a blood-colored sun. It instantly collided with the sovereign. The heaven and earth rumbled as the void trembled. A chaotic color filled the air. It was eternal and unique. It instantly broke through the blood-colored sun and sent the blood snake sovereign flying dozens of feet away with one punch. Blood snake demon venerable, die. The sovereign was surrounded by chaotic energy. His black hair fluttered and his gaze was majestic. His fist seemed to shake the heavens. It was as if the celestial emperor was patrolling and suppressing all directions. The power of that punch was too terrifying and unstoppable. Devour the heavens and earth. I'm invincible. Kill. The blood snake venerable beast's face was extremely ugly. He roared and his body shone with a dazzling light. He punched out, and it was like a huge blood-red snake that was tens of thousands of feet long lunged at the successor of the war god Hall. It was the sun-devouring snake. Legend had it that it could even devour the sun. It was extremely ferocious. The blood snake sovereign wanted to refine the sovereign. Rumble. The successor of the war god shrine looked indifferent. His fist was extremely condensed and eternal. It was as if nothing could stop his fist. Even the swallowing sun boss serpent instantly exploded into a rain of light under his fist. Crack. The sovereign's fist aura was too intense. It was as if the world had turned into chaos when this punch landed. One of the blood snake demon venerable's arms instantly exploded, turning into a bloody mist. This is the chaotic sacred body. I didn't expect the sovereign to have the legendary chaotic sacred body. Chapter 795. The legendary chaotic sacred body was known as the number one sacred body in all the heavens. Its physical body was unparalleled, and its divine power was invincible. A fully developed chaotic sacred body could even kill a primordial ancestral dragon, tear a true phoenix apart, and compete with an unparalleled heavenly emperor. It's not the real chaotic sacred body. After all, no one has seen the real chaotic sacred body. I'm afraid that the successor of the war god temple only has a trace of the chaotic sacred body's bloodline. If this bloodline matures in the end, it might become the real chaotic sacred body. Ling Zhao's eyes sparkled as he sighed with emotion. Sacred body of sun, sacred body of Taiyin, sacred body of five elements, sacred body of yin yang, and so on. These legendary sacred bodies were extremely powerful. It could even be said that they contained a trace of the chaotic sacred body's bloodline. If they evolved to the extreme, they might become the legendary chaotic sacred body. After all, the chaotic sacred body was all-encompassing and all-encompassing. It was eternal and immortal. However, the successor of the war god temple had a trace of the chaotic sacred body's characteristics. Therefore, his physical body was extremely powerful, even surpassing the primordial ferocious beast sun-swallowing serpent. Under the Forbidden God Zone, the successor of the war god temple was an invincible expert. Ling Zhao's eyes shone with a trace of sharpness and battle intent. He was eager to see if his true dragon body or the chaotic sacred body was stronger. On the other side, Buddhist Kasyapa was also fighting with the two demon sovereigns. Whoosh! 9 Dinghai pearls rose into the sky like 9 mysterious worlds. They exuded a terrifying and majestic aura, suppressing the two demon sovereigns. Open! The golden ape demon lord's eyes glinted with sharpness. The iron staff in his hand instantly expanded to 1,000 feet long. This was also a powerful supreme weapon. Surrounded by supreme divine might, it smashed down on the Dinghai pearl. Kill! The Black Hawk demon sovereign was extremely fast. His body was like a golden lightning bolt. A black ancient sword appeared in his hand, and he slashed toward the Dinghai pearls. Clang! Clang! The Dinghai pearls shone brightly and became dazzling. They intertwined with each other. Divine spiritual laws bloomed, exuding a terrifying power that enveloped the Golden Ape Demon Sovereign and the Black Hawk Demon Sovereign. The two of you are fated with Buddhism. If you are sincere in converting to Buddhism, I can spare your lives. Buddhist Kasyapa said with a faint smile. I'll convert to your grandma. The Golden Ape Demon Venerable cursed. His body glowed with dazzling light as he swung his huge iron staff at Kasyapa. How stubborn. This penniless monk has no choice but to use demon-subduing techniques. Kasyapa sighed softly. His eyes flashed and he slammed his palm towards the Golden Ape Demon Lord. It was as if a divine mountain was crashing down. It radiated with eternal Buddhist light and contained the power to destroy everything. Great Sumeru Godly Palm. With Kasyapa's soft cry, a huge divine mountain pressed down. The venerable golden ape felt the iron staff in his hand tremble and his arm go numb. His entire body was pressed against the palm. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his aura instantly withered. Little bald donkey, prepare to die. The Black Eagle Demon Venerable's eyes turned red and were filled with rage. Black heavenly demonic chi surrounded his body as a huge sword light slashed towards Kasyapa. Heavenly demonic chi. Looks like I can't let you live. Sharpness flashed in Kasyapa's eyes. He also sent out a palm strike, shattering the sword light in an instant. The Black Hawk Demon Venerable was also severely injured by the palm strike. He flew backward and fell into the 9 Dinghai pearls, severely injuring a 6th-level Supreme Realm expert with a single palm. It seems like Kasyapa is also a 6th-realm fighting genius. Mu Xian sighed softly. Seeing the combat strength of the successor of the War God Hall and Kasyapa was a huge blow to him. I'm afraid that's not all. Kasyapa seems to be hiding his strength. However, there's no suspense in this battle. The blood snake demon venerable, the black eagle demon venerable, and the golden ape demon venerable are definitely going to die. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He could feel the dense heavenly demonic qi in the bodies of the three demon venerables. Even their primordial spirits had turned dark and evil. They had been completely contaminated by the heavenly demonic qi. Moreover, Ling Xiao could also feel an incomparably dense and dark demonic qi rising from the demon saint palace. It made the wordless heavenly book very excited. It seems like the reason why the demon tribe was contaminated by the heavenly demonic qi must be because of the demon saint palace. Ling Xiao said slowly. Rumble. Because of the invasion of these outsiders, many powerful demon clan experts rushed out of the demon city and engaged in a bloody battle with these outsiders. There were all sorts of powerful demonic beasts. Many of them were legendary primordial species. Each and every one of them had monstrous qi and blood. Some of them had transformed into human form, while some still retained their powerful demonic beast physique. It was simply a dance of demonic beasts. Ling Xiao and Mu Xian did not come out from the heavenly stone. They were looking for an opportunity to enter the demon saint palace. In the end, Ling Xiao determined that the method to open the demon saint palace was in the hands of the three demon venerables. To be exact, it was in the hands of the blood snake demon venerable. Only by killing the three demon venerables could he find the method to open the demon saint palace. Rumble. In the Forbidden God domain, the blood snake demon venerable was sent flying by the successor of the war god temple with a single punch. He was in an extremely sorry state, coughing up blood. His body was almost shattered, and one of his arms had turned into a bloody mist. His eyes were extremely ugly and sullen. If it wasn't for the fact that he was in the God-forbidding domain, he would definitely be able to kill the successor of the War God Hall with his cultivation at the 9th level of the Sovereign stage. However, because of the God-forbidding domain, he was unable to use most of his techniques and was about to be killed. Moreover, the Forbidden God domain contained the law of the gods. It was incomparably powerful, and he couldn't break out at all. In here, he could only fight to his death. Bastard, I'll kill you. The blood snake demon venerable roared. His eyes were filled with anger. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. Countless resplendent lights instantly shot out from his body as blood arrows soared into the air, turning into a sea of blood. 9 sun-devouring boss serpents soared out from the sea of blood at the same time, emitting ferocious and overwhelming auras. They wanted to completely kill the successor of the War God Hall. The blood snake demon venerable executed a bloodline forbidden technique and burned his life essence. His strength was terrifying and he exploded with his peak combat strength. You will only end up dead. There will be no accidents. The successor of the War God Temple said indifferently. He punched the sky and chaotic aura covered the sky. The unparalleled fist radiance destroyed everything. It was majestic and mysterious. Rumble. The 9 sun-devouring boss serpents exploded before they could reach the successor of the War God Temple. Together with the blood snake demon venerable's body, they exploded into a bloody mist in the sky. Swoosh. Chapter 796. On the other side, after the successor of the War God Hall killed the Blood Snake Demon Master, the Black Hawk Demon Master and the Golden Ape Demon Master also died at the hands of Kasyapa. Kasyapa's attack was clean. He used the 9 sea calming pearls to seal the Black Hawk Demon Master and the Golden Ape Demon Master. Then, he used the Great Meru Divine Palm to kill the 2 Demon Masters. Ling Xiao, what realm do you think the successor of the War God Hall and Kasyapa have reached? Mu Xian asked Ling Xiao in shock. Although Kasyapa hid his strength, I think he should be a 7-realm fighting genius. As for the successor of the War God Hall, I can't see through him. He just used the Forbidden God territory and killed the Blood Snake Demon Master with his physical strength. Therefore, I think he should be an 8-realm fighting genius, or even a 9-realm fighting genius. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he spoke slowly. 9-realm fighting genius? You are all monsters. Dugu Qiubai was the only one in a million years. Now, not only you, but also the successor of the war god Hall and Cassiopeia. Mu Xian said speechlessly. Not necessarily. Zhu Biao is not simple either. Other than that, there are two other people I can't see through. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he looked at Zhu Biao, who was still gnawing on the lamb leg. It was as if this battle had nothing to do with him. Other than Zhu Biao, Emperor Qing and Qing Yun also appeared in Ling Zhao's mind. Their strength was also extremely terrifying. As for Jian Wushuang and Duge Shui, their sword god skill and sword demon supreme sutra had definitely improved after that battle. Their current strength was probably extremely powerful. These people were all Ling Zhao's strong opponents. In Ling Zhao's eyes, they were at least 7 realm fighting geniuses. Mu Xian originally wanted to ask Ling Zhao who else he couldn't see through. However, his eyes suddenly flashed and he hurriedly said, Ling Zhao, they are about to open the Demon Saint Palace. In the distance, the successor of the war god Hall held the blood snake demon master's primordial spirit and came to the entrance of the Demon Saint Palace. Do you choose to open the Demon Saint Palace or die? The successor of the war god Hall said indifferently. You will die. Even if I open the Demon Saint Palace, all of you will die. The blood snake demon master glared hatefully at the successor of the war god Hall. Since you want to die, then I, Chen Quan, will help you. Killing intent flashed through the eyes of the successor of the war god Hall. Divine light exploded from his palm and the blood snake demon venerable's soul instantly exploded into a bloody mist. A mere Demon Saint Palace dares to stand in my way. The successor of the war god temple had a dignified look in his eyes. The godly decree flew across the sky and scattered down a dazzling light. The seal that was originally blocking the entrance of the Demon Saint Palace was like a ripple of water, instantly breaking apart. Rumble. The 2 ancient stone doors of the Demon Saint Palace opened. Ling Zhao, let's charge in quickly. Mu Xian urged somewhat anxiously. Don't worry. This Demon Saint Palace was not so easy to enter. Let them go in first. We'll follow behind them and find an opportunity to strike. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He could feel that the Demon Saint Palace was like a ferocious beast with its mouth wide open, waiting for everyone to walk right into its trap. The successor of War God Temple had a flash in his eyes. He led the group into Demon Saint Palace. Buddhist son Cassiopeia followed right behind. Charge! Everyone, charge! Not only does the Demon Saint Palace contain the Demon Saint's heritage and divine blood, but it also contains a peerless divine medicine. Ha ha ha, the Demon Saint's heritage is mine. Get out of my way. The Demon Saint's divine blood is mine. The peerless divine medicine is mine. Anyone who dares fight with me for it will die. Outside the Demon Saint Palace, the geniuses who'd been battling with the experts of Demon City all had bloodshot eyes. When they saw the successor of War God Temple and Buddhist son Cassiopeia rush in, they couldn't hold back any longer and rushed into the Demon Saint Palace. Ling Zhao, on the other hand, rode on the celestial stone and transformed into a speck of dust to blend in with the crowd. The interior of the Demon Saint Palace was like a small world of its own. Chaotic mist curled around it. It was a very peaceful small world, surrounded by mountains and rivers, the sun, moon, and stars. It looked incomparably real. In front of everyone was a mountain shrouded in chaos. On top of it floated 3 dazzling golden treasures. An ancient stone tablet, 9 feet wide and 9 feet tall, towered in the chaotic mist. There were many mysterious runes carved on it, containing a mysterious aura of destiny. A drop of golden blood emitted a dazzling light. It was like a golden sun. It was extremely beautiful, and it made people's blood boil just by looking at it. There was also a divine medicine that looked like a ginseng. Its roots pierced into the depths of the void as if it was absorbing the essence of millions of worlds. This mountain looked incomparably mysterious and emitted a powerful divine fluctuation. It was as if there was an ancient divine formation covering it, causing one's heart to tremble. Ling Zhao, that stone tablet has the 9th chapter of Heavenly Mandate recorded on it. Hurry, we can't let it fall into the hands of the successor of War God Temple. Mu Xian became excited when he saw the stone tablet in the air. Don't panic. This demon saint palace is very strange. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He wasn't in a hurry to expose himself. For some reason, this world gave him a very unreal and demonic feeling. Let's go. The divine blood and supreme divine medicine are at the top of the mountain. Everyone, let's go. Ha ha ha, that stone tablet must have recorded the demon saint's inheritance. Everyone immediately became excited. Their eyes were filled with incomparable excitement. They all leaped up and rushed towards the top of the primal chaos mountain. Buzz! A dazzling light spread out from the chaotic mountain and shone on everyone's body. It seemed to be distinguishing something, but in the end, it dissipated. Everyone felt as if the depths of their soul had been seen through, but it was only for a moment. After discovering that there was no problem, everyone relaxed and rushed towards the top of the mountain. The successor of War God Temple and Buddhist Kasayapa took the lead. Their eyes were filled with sharpness as they reached for the stone tablet. Clang! It was as if a great bell had rung, causing the world to shake. Above the 3 treasures, a resplendent barrier appeared. Runes intertwined, looking mysterious and unfathomable. It was like a divine chain of order, blocking everyone. This was a defensive barrier protecting the 3 treasures. The terrifying fluctuations exceeded the power of a peak supremacy. It was a restriction set up by a god in the legends. This barrier must have been left behind by the demon saint. Kasayapa, let's attack together and break the barrier first. As for the treasures inside, we'll leave it to fate. Chapter 797. Alright, no problem. Buddhist Kasayapa's gaze was rather solemn as well. He could also sense how powerful the barrier was. Rumble. 9 ding-high pearls floated up from Kasayapa's hand like 9 dazzling suns, shooting towards the barrier. The successor of the War God Temple was still holding the god's decree in his hand. It contained a terrifying battle intent that seemed to be able to shatter everything. The divine decree soared into the sky, and mysterious ancient characters lit up. They were dazzling, and they turned into divine chains of order, penetrating the enchantment. Rumble. The barrier shone brightly in an instant. Mysterious runes lingered around the barrier, emitting an earth-shattering sound as if a lightning tribulation was descending. The combined power of the 9 ding-high pearls and the god's decree was extremely terrifying. It actually made the layer of enchantment begin to tremble. Everyone, let's go. Break the barrier and the treasure will be ours. The other geniuses were blinded by the treasure and their eyes were blazing. They were afraid that the barrier would be broken and the treasure would fall into the hands of the successor of the War God Temple and Buddhist Kasayapa. They all unleashed their strongest attacks to attack the barrier. Rumble. The terrifying sound shook the heavens and the earth. The scene of countless geniuses attacking at the same time was very spectacular. Powerful weapons, huge fists, sword lights, saber lights, spear lights swept across the sky. The dazzling divine light was unparalleled, causing the barrier to tremble even more. Ling Xiao, when are we going to attack? Mu Xian was getting increasingly impatient. The stone tablet was too important to the Tomb King city. He had lost his cool at this moment. Let's wait a little longer. Ling Xiao's gaze was extremely calm. There was a faint light emitting from his eyes as he activated the wordless heavenly book to sense the mysteries of this world. The demon saint palace shouldn't be so peaceful. There should be at least a supreme being overseeing it. However, this place was incomparably peaceful. There was no one here except for the 3 treasures left behind by the demon saint. They seemed to be waiting for everyone to take them. Everything was too strange. Ling Xiao became more cautious and began to observe everything in front of him. Whoosh! Zhu Biao, who had come with the successor of the War God Temple, made his move. He reluctantly finished the lamb leg, then rubbed his oily hands on his body, and instantly punched out. Crack! Heaven and earth trembled. When Zhu Biao punched out, his entire aura changed. He no longer had that wretched appearance. Instead, he emitted a dignified, ancient, and mysterious aura. When this punch was thrown out, it was as if an archaic divine beast was flying through the sky, ferocious and overbearing. Rumble. The barrier seemed to have been hit by a mountain. It suddenly caved in, and then suddenly burst out with a bright light, sending Zhu Biao flying. Zhu Biao was like a ball. His whole body was round. He suddenly flew back and sat on the ground. It looked very funny. Bastard! You actually dare to block your master Zhu, and I will fight it out. Zhu Biao was furious, instantly bounced up and smashed a fist towards the enchantment. Rumble. In the sky, there seemed to be a bolt of chaotic lightning. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He saw a young man in green armor in the distance. His black hair fluttered in the wind, his face was like jade, and his body emitted an incomparably terrifying aura. There was a golden divine spear in his palm. It pierced through the void and pierced the enchantment. It was as if hundreds of millions of chaotic lightning bolts exploded at the same time. It was extremely bright. Crack! The enchantment suddenly trembled, and a few runes exploded. It seemed to have reached the limit of what it could bear, and in an instant, the golden divine spear was bounced away. Qing Yun. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. This young man was the mysterious young man he saw in the Heaven's Pride Tower, Qing Yun. He specialized in spear techniques and the Tao of lightning, and was very powerful. Swoosh! Swoosh! Qing Yun's eyes were indifferent, and his body was dazzling. Powerful bolts of lightning fell from the 9 heavens, following the golden divine spear, and blasted towards the enchantment. Ha ha ha! The demon saint's divine blood can only belong to me, Zhao Ritian. Scram, you scum! An extremely arrogant voice exploded in the void, causing countless people to glare at him angrily. Zhao Ritian was riding on the void golden eyes beast. He wore a golden robe, and his figure was extraordinary. There seemed to be a bright sun behind him, and a golden ancient sword appeared in his hand. It was engraved with the sun, moon, stars, flowers, birds, insects, and fish, as well as the endless starry sky. It emitted an incomparably terrifying aura. His eyes were blazing as he stared at the demon saint's divine blood among the 3 treasures. The golden ancient sword in his hand slashed down. Crack! The heavens and earth trembled, and the void seemed to be drowned in a sea of fire. The golden ancient sword was extremely terrifying, and it suddenly slashed on the enchantment. The enchantment shook violently, and countless runes exploded. In an instant, it was extremely bright. This guy really has great luck on him. Ling Zhao's gaze was a little strange. Zhao Ritian's strength seemed to have increased, and the golden ancient sword in his hand was actually a broken divine weapon. It was extremely powerful, and Ling Zhao did not know where this guy found it. Rumble. With the addition of Zhu Biao, Qing Yun, and Zhao Ritian, as well as the successor of the War God Shrine and Buddhist Kasyapa, they all unleashed their powerful attacks on the enchantment. Countless runes began to shatter, and the enchantment's power began to weaken. It would not be long before the enchantment was completely shattered. Ling Zhao estimated that even a titled supremacy would not be able to break the enchantment because it contained powerful divine law. However, the divine decree, the 9 sea calming pearls, Zhu Biao's boxing gloves, Qing Yun's divine spear, and Zhao Ritian's golden ancient sword were all considered divine weapons. They possessed unparalleled power, and the enchantment was almost unable to withstand it. Second Master, the demon saint's inheritance in the holy ground has already been snatched away by Ling Zhao's damned mount. That guy won't be here, right? If he's here, won't we fail again? Zhao Ritian secretly asked the second master as he attacked the enchantment. The second master sneered and said, "What are you afraid of? Don't you see how many people are here?" The successor of the War God Shrine, Buddhist Kasyapa, and even that damned fatty and the young man in green armor are not to be trifled with. If that little goat dares to come, do you think they'll just watch it get the treasure? Second master, you're absolutely right. The demon saint's divine blood must be mine. No one can take it away from me. Zhao Ritian said emotionally. Don't worry. Although the sun god's sword in your hand is a little broken, it's still a supreme artifact. Second uncle will definitely help you get the demon saint's divine blood of these 3 treasures. Second uncle said heroically. Zhao Ritian was touched and said, Second master, you're so good to me. Rumble. At this moment, a goat with shiny fur that looked like black satin suddenly appeared in the sky above the chaotic mountain. Its body was very strong, and it looked like a calf. The goat's face looked even more wretched than a human face. It waved an ancient scepter in its hand, and the enchantment instantly shattered. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.